Live from Frank Monica Field at Thomas Dupuis Stadium in La Place, Louisiana, Crescent City Sports is proud to bring you Louisiana High School football. Tonight, it's a non-district showdown as the Dunham Tigers make the trip from Baton Rouge to take on the St. Charles Catholic Comets. Hello, everybody. Ken Berthelot, along with Wade Kaiser, Lenny Van Gilder doing our producing tonight, and Sam Torrent, if I get this right, Sam, I hope I do, Tornator on camera. There you go. That's your group for a good football game here, and an interesting football game. As Wade, talking with both coaches before the game, it was like listening to Wayne Stein go, look, we've got two state championships, a runner-up last year. We lose 17 really good players. We start a sophomore inexperienced quarterback. We lose at down in New Orleans, so we lose down at Lupin Field, and all of a sudden, you know what? We got to come back and sit on that for a week because Game 2, Lutcher, is canceled because of Hurricane Francine. Now we got that raw taste of losing in our mouth, and we've got to come back and go up against the number one quarterback, the number one player in the class of 2027, sophomore quarterback, Elijah Haven, who last year as a freshman rewrote the record book at Dunham.
Well, yeah, absolutely. I was never a fan of bye weeks or anything like that. I know when hurricanes come through, there's not much you can do when you lose a game, and you just pray and hope that everybody that the hurricane affected, everybody comes out all right. But if you lose the week before, you have this taste in your mouth that you can't quickly get out. The quickest way to get that taste out is competition, right? Getting right back on the field, getting your kids right back to work, getting them right back out on the field. And Wayne Stein and the Comets were not able to do that last week. So tonight is going to show a lot on how his team is prepared to face Elijah Haven, which is, as you said, one of the best newcoming quarterbacks in the nation. And I'm really excited to see what this young man is going to bring to the table.
The last year, Haven threw for 2,205 yards and 35 touchdowns, only 3 interceptions as a freshman, completed 67%. He added 641 yards rushing and 12 more scores. My goodness, he's averaging 6 yards a carry. That was all his freshman year. And even more impressive than his numbers, even more impressive than the 7 offers he already has from major colleges. He's going to the LSU-UCLA game tomorrow night. He'll be on campus for that game back in Baton Rouge. Even more impressive than all of that is when you talk to him, you listen to his maturity, it's unbelievable. You think you're talking to a college player, not a sophomore in high school.
Right. Back in the day, it seemed like they didn't start recruiting kids until the end of their junior year, right? But now, you know, they're recruiting kids in junior high. So this young man, this sophomore, has a lot to bring to the table, and he's already on everybody's watch lists.
Well, how about this? Ole Miss, Baylor, Cornell, Texas Tech, Florida, Miami, Auburn, and Florida State. Lane Kiffin is on in big time, says Renee Nadeau of CrescentCitySports.com. He covers recruiting like a blanket, really sharp at that. And I'll tell you, if Renee says Lane Kiffin's probably living at his house, then you got to almost believe it. He didn't use those words, but you get the idea.
I was down on the field before the game. Of course, I like to walk down there, and I like to watch the kids warm up and that sort of thing. So I went down to his end of the field, and I was watching him warm up and how he was releasing the ball and the depths that he was releasing it at and how his footwork was. Tell you what, he's very polished for a sophomore. And then I was joined by the great Frank Monica, right? Who I had the opportunity to work for and who was the longtime head coach here at St. Charles Catholic High School and at Tulane. And Frank knows quarterback play, right? So we're both standing down there watching him, and he got the thumbs-up approval from Frank Monica. And when Frank Monica gives somebody the thumbs-up approval, I know the kid is going to have a bright, bright future as a quarterback.
Well, your captain's down on the field right now as you watch the toss of the coin. So let's take a look. St. Charles will receive.
The toss at the front of the second half. The Comets will receive and defend the south end zone.
Yeah, Dunham, I believe, won the toss, and they've deferred, and St. Charles is going to take the ball and defend the south end
Ladies
zone.
and gentlemen, please rise and remove your caps and hats.
Well, a special, not only playing of the national anthem, but moment of silence. So we'll turn it over to the public address announcer so you can hear what this is all about.
Alejandra is the SCC student body president and a member of the cross-country team. She is the daughter of Neri Olea and Alan Menjivar. Before we pray tonight, we ask that you join us in a moment of silence to honor the memory of some great SCC alumni and friends. First, Mr. Brad Lumine, Mr. Ed Daniels, Mr. Mason Prima, and Ms. Gigi Cannon.
Dear Heavenly Father, thank you for letting us gather here tonight for our first home game of the season and allowing everyone to travel here safely. Let both Dunham and St. Charles Catholic enter this competition with the spirit of good sportsmanship so that our behavior and language reflects you. Help both teams to play with integrity and protect all players from injury. We ask you, Father, to bless each one of us, players, coaches, audience, and more, that we may dwell in your glory. Amen. St. Charles Borromeo, pray for us. In the name of the Father, and the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen.
Thank you. Please remain standing for the singing of our national anthem. Our anthem is going to be sung tonight by Senior Hannah Emery. Hannah is the Secretary of the SCC Student Council and NHS, a member of the cross-country team and a member of the music ministry. Hannah is the daughter of Leon and Janelle Emery.
See by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Very nicely done. She hit the high note. Wasn't sure she was going to get there because it was like, that is a high tone, but she got there. So very nicely done. We get set for St. Charles Catholic and the Dunham Tigers. And this is going to be a good one because everybody, as we talked about just a moment ago with the open of this program, is waiting to see Elijah Haven. Gave you his numbers for his freshman year. Again, 2,205 yards, 35 touchdowns, and only 3 interceptions as a freshman. Added 641 rushing, 12 scores to that. He's also a pretty good basketball player, averages 12.7 points a game as a freshman, 4 rebounds and 4 assists. So he's a two-sport player, and got to imagine that is good, but I got to imagine with the amount of pressure that's going to build in recruiting him over the next, remember, he's only a sophomore this year. It's going to build as he gets through this year into his junior and senior year. He may just focus on one sport, Wade.
Well, Neil Weiner said that he has the maturity of a senior as a sophomore, and that his head is in the right place, and also with that, he has a great group of parents and people in his group circle that keep him grounded. So that's always good to know for a young man like that that's going to be so heavily recruited.
We listened to an interview that he did on CrescentCitySports.com, and he sounded like a freshman or a sophomore in college, not a freshman or a sophomore in high school. Short kick taken by an up man and returned with great field position for St. Charles Catholic up to the 44-yard line. So not bad, as the Comets have a pretty good starting position down on the field. That one returned by Matthew Lang. So now we see a sophomore quarterback, two sophomores at quarterback for each team. Landry LeBlanc got his first start against Newman 2 weeks ago. Would have played the Letcher, would have started the Letcher game. And as you would expect for a young freshman, as he hands off right off the bat to Chris Don McLean, he'll go over to the right side for a few.
Well,
3-yard gain from McLean.
Landry LeBlanc has a lot of shoes to fill, right? 17 starters from last year from graduation with St. Charles, and one of those guys is the quarterback Brady St. Pierre, who graduated last year, so who we called a few times in his career, was a great quarterback here at St. Charles Catholic. So, you know, Wayne Stein, the head coach, feels that Landry LeBlanc can fill those shoes and that he has the right demeanor to be the guy to lead this offense.
They like him so much at quarterback. He's also a baseball player and a relief pitcher on the baseball team. They put him in key situations as a freshman in the state championship playoffs. He came in to relieve some critical situations and did very well mentally. He was ready. He performed physically. They're very, very high. And Wayne Stein says that tells you what we think of this kid. Tells you what we think of him.
If you're a football player at St. Charles Catholic, odds are you're also a baseball player, right? So because they're kind of a crossover here, and they do, you know, and history has told us how good they are with both of those programs.
Well, that was a pickup of 1 to the 48, again by Kristen McLean, a junior running back. And now it's 3rd down and 7. LeBlanc will come wide to the left. They'll go sort of shotgun straight up the middle. Here goes Noah Tucker. Tucker's got the first down and a little razzle-dazzle from Wayne Stein and these Comets right off the bat. They know they've got to score points because of who's quarterbacking on the other side. And that's a big explosive run all the way down to the 35-yard line of Dunham.
Wildcat look, they put Tucker at the quarterback position, and they won quarterback ISO right through the middle of that Dunham defense. And St. Charles is in business now on their side of the Dunham side of the field. 1st and 10.
Now you see Landry LeBlanc, a little razzle-dazzle because they took their quarterback and split him wide to the left that time. But this will be legal participation and will move the Comets back 5.
Legal participation, basically that they didn't, the subbing didn't get off the field in time. By the time that they set the play clock rolling, you're going to get too many men on the field, illegal participation. St. Charles gets penalized 5 yards, looking at 1st and 15 now.
Back to the 40-yard line. And this one finding holes right up the middle. There goes McLean. McLean inside the 20, inside the 15.
McLean, nice burst of speed, right? He's not a big guy, but he's got nice one cut and go type of thing. He gets out in the middle of the open field and he can make you miss, right? Great explosion for that junior right off tackle. Down inside, it looks like inside the 10-yard line. 15-yard line.
Inside the 15, 19, you just rattled off a couple of big gains right there. And doing it right up against that defensive front for the Dunham school. Landry LeBlanc will hand it off again. If it's working on the ground, why stop it? And they'll try the left side. Nowhere, as the left side closes that very, very quickly. Leading that charge was Richard Bonneville, the linebacker.
Yeah, McLean comes in. He had 123 yards versus Newman in week 1. Like we said, they didn't play week 2 because of the hurricane. He's got a little shake and bake with him.
2nd down, 10 to go, Comets.
Well, they'll got back to the line of scrimmage. No gain on that one, making it 2nd down and 10 as Landry LeBlanc showing a little poise himself here as a sophomore quarterback. One back. And he'll hand it off. And I believe that was Mareks.
Around the left side, flags on the play. Holding the call against the Comets.
Well, flag down. It looks like the Comets are going to be walking backwards if the call is holding. If that stands, let's see. This drive started back on the 44-yard line of the Comets after a very short bloop kick. It returned about 10 to the 44, and the Comets drove down to the 16-yard line. But the illegal participation, then the holding penalty, has moved them back to the 26.
Yeah, every offensive coordinator's nightmare, get inside the red zone and get flags thrown, right?
McLean again. Kristen McLean, a junior.
Really working that left side of that Comet offensive line behind Aiden Lowry, big left tackle, and number 54, Matthew Lang, the left guard. There are, Lang's a senior and Lowry is a junior.
Now brings up third down, third and long. Look at it, third down, 17. And this one, Noah Tucker again taking it out of the gun. And Tucker around the right side. He's got the first down. What a run by Noah Tucker.
Again, timing was off in the backfield. Noah Tucker trying to run the zone read, right? He bumps into his own running back, which was McLean.
Missed it by an inch.
Pulls the ball, disconnects, and takes off for the sideline. He's got a little giddy up in his step also. It's going to bring up 4th and short. Look for the Comets probably to go for this right here. They need something good to happen to them, as we said, to get that loss off of week 1 out of their mouth. So why not go for it?
Comets have an excellent field goal kicker, but they also have an offense that's been moving right now. And LeBlanc has Kristen McLean behind him. They're going to stack that left side, hand it off to McLean, and he'll pound over that left side. That should be enough for the first down.
Well, they run right at him. They're trying to make a point, right? So Wayne Stein's trying to get his guys to believe that they can knock people off the ball. So they're going to run right at him physically and try to get that first down. It's all about making a statement right here for the Comets. Dunham, on the other hand, of course, is trying to hold up to the pressure. They do not want to get knocked off the ball down here, obviously.
Look, time of possession. We have just gone under the 7-minute mark, so this is almost half the first quarter being eaten up on this drive. Tucker, and the Wildcat dropped the snap, picks it up, looking for somewhere to go. He gets caught in the backfield and dropped for a loss, short loss on that.
Couple nice plays out of the Wildcat for Tucker. Couple of not nice ones that are kind of off, right? Dropping the ball right there, having the, I guess you would say, the collision in the backfield with McLean. Still trying to iron out some issues here with the Wildcat offense.
Remember, 17 key players graduated off a team that won 2 state championships and last year was runner-up. Not a bad 3-year run for Wayne Stein with those guys. A lot of new players trying to gain experience. Second to go. This time it'll be LeBlanc. And timeout for the hydration break. We have just reached the 6-minute mark and it's one tick under. 5:59 to play in the first quarter. This is the opening drive of the game, and St. Charles Catholic has eaten up a lot of time. Tonight's coverage on Crescent City Sports is brought to you by the Lamarck Automotive Complex in Kenner. Lamarck Ford, the #1 Ford dealer in the Metro New Orleans market, as Ronnie says, must be a reason. First quarter is brought to you by Lamarck Ford.
You know, the one guy we haven't seen for the Comet offense is Skylar Edwards. He was hurt back against U High in their scrimmage a few weeks back. He was a guy on their offense that supplied 907 yards, right, individually, and 11 touchdowns for that offense a year ago. He's out. The guy that's answering the call for him is Kristen McLean. So they got a nice bevy of running backs here as long as they keep them healthy. And Wayne Stein always trying to keep his guys healthy because it's a long season, stepping up especially to the 4A classification.
Well, gives them the timeout. They get to talk about it. Everybody gets a little hydration. Here we go. Will it be LeBlanc? He was going to be at quarterback, but no, they're going to use the Wildcat with Noah Tucker, the wide receiver, and put McLean to his left and Marix to his right. Fake to Marix. Tucker will keep around the right side, and he is smothered as he gets around the 5-yard line.
Look, I think Dunham's figured out if Zero's lining up at Wildcat quarterback, he's not handing the ball off, right? I mean, so he's keeping the football. I think everybody on that everybody on that line of scrimmage needs to say, hey, Zero's going to take the ball. Let's go tackle the guy.
Well, now Landry LeBlanc will line up at quarterback on this 3rd and goal. 5 minutes and 30 seconds on that clock. It's been the only drive of this game. A long, sustained drive. He'll hand off. Eddie hands off to McLean, and McLean stopped right at the 5-yard line. No gain. 4th down. Do you kick the field goal this time, or do you go for it?
Absolutely. You kick the field goal this time, get on the board, get some points. That stop was made by Reeves Johnson, a solid senior linebacker for the Dunham Tigers. His name we're going to call tonight on defense for Dunham, and also a young man named Trevor Heyman, who we're going to see all over the field, both sides of the ball.
This was going to be Blake Taravella. Normally it's Tyler Miliotto who's made some game-winning kicks left and right, but Tyler's got a little hurt in some way, pulled something, but not quite sure what. And so we get the backup kicker in here, and he missed it. Wide left. So Blake Taravella came in, little pressure on him after the long drive, and a drive that started, my goodness, started this game.
A long time ago.
Yeah, a long time ago, and now 4:32 on the clock.
Come on, Holy Cross math, right?
Yeah, wasn't my major. At Louisiana Tech either.
Well, that's a huge hold right there and a huge stop by Dunham, right? That does a lot for their positivity coming into the rest of the first quarter. And now with their great quarterback, we get to see this wide open offense.
7-minute and 28-second drive to open this game, and now Dunham takes over at the 20-yard line, and we get to see a little bit of Mr. Haven. What is he going to do on 1st down? Boom. Met by the defense very quickly, and that was Brooks Monica. One of the people in on that tackle. Yeah, they're going to be all over.
Yeah, Brooks Monica comes in as the tackle leader, right, for these Comets, right? He's a solid linebacker. I remember seeing him last year. Made a lot of plays all over the field in the Newman game that we called last year.
This time a quick release by Haven. He's got a man on the left side, and they're very close to 1st down yardage, but will be just a little bit short, and that was to Richard Montgomery.
Saw the quick release. You're going to see hurry-up offense and high-tempo offense out of the Dunham Tigers. Quick release by Haven.
Big 3rd down play. Haven's going to keep it himself. Does not get past the 30 and will be stopped short of the 1st down. Could be a quick 3 and out for Dunham on their first possession. Well, let's see where they're going to mark it now. Hold on, and there's a flag down. Hold everything. Flag down right at the 30-yard line by the arrow if you're watching on your screen. Number 1 from Dunham, Jarvis Washington, standing right by that flag, being picked up by the official now. Let's see what it is, Wade.
I think it's a holding penalty out here on the edge. There you go. There's your call.
Now that sets you way, way back. My goodness.
Huge advantage for the Comets up front. They're a little bit bigger on the defensive line than Dunham is on the offensive line, but this offensive line from Dunham, these guys do a nice job with their scheming of things in their run game, pulling guards and running counter plays with their tackles pulling and things of that nature to be able to create creases for Haven, which is their leading rusher, coming into the game with 148 yards and 2 touchdowns on 21 attempts.
See where the penalty hurts. You may have been 1 yard short, facing 4th and 1 at the 29-yard line or 29.5. Get a little punting room. That penalty puts you way back. If you don't get some good yardage coming up on this 3rd down play, 3rd down and long, 3rd and goodness 16 to go, then you're punting from almost your 5-yard line, and you're going to have one great punt.
Well, that's why they call them penalties. Right?
Yeah.
I mean, somehow you're getting penalized in one point or another, right? So here you're not only getting the yardage taken off, but it's also putting you in a bind, and it allows your opponent to be able to have better field position, obviously.
Well, Coach Neil Weiner talking with his team, and the Dunham Tigers, what a job he has done. Started there in 2014 to the present. 5 district titles, 2 semifinal appearances, 1 state title appearance. Before him, they had 1 district title way back in 1993 and a state title in 2004. So the program has been on sort of hard times as far as big wins go and state playoff appearances, but he's changed that in the last 10 years and brought a lot of pride, and he's got great run last year, got deep into the playoffs with a freshman quarterback, and he's got a sophomore quarterback that could really take him places. 3rd down, 11, long toss, a reach but an overthrow. Couldn't get his hands out there on the long reach by Jarvis Washington, a speedster, a junior, and a transfer from Madison Prep.
Yeah, Preston Calm out there on the coverage. They're in a 2-high coverage. They're in a nickel look, talking about the Comets. Preston Calm allowed his technique to get stepped on. When I say that, he allowed the receiver to get on top of him, and the bubble got broken. And he was lucky that ball didn't just have a tad bit of air on it. That would have been completed.
Eason Giroux is the punter, and looks like procedure. Going to move him back 5 more, so we're almost getting back to the position where they were after the holding penalty backed them up. So just not an opportunity for Elijah Haven to really get started, and that's exactly what I think Wayne Stein wants to do. Get a lot of defensive pressure or show some looks. If you can't get the pressure, high snap, pulls it down, hurries the kick, and it's pulled in by Prejean. Prejean on the return, bounces off 1 tackle. Prejean around the right side, has a little bit of room, keeps going down the sideline. Look at Prejean, finally knocked out of bounds. My goodness, how did he escape? A little Penn and Teller magic on the far side down there. The escape artist does his thing.
Great return. He got in behind a wall and a couple nice blocks over there at about the 40, 45-yard line, allowed him to bounce to the outside and get down the boundary, and then a couple missed tackles, right? You can't miss tackles on special teams. That's what happens. That's the part of the game where you can get right real quick after you've had a couple of bad tastes in your mouth, like not getting in the end zone or missing a field goal or something like that to start a game. Special teams can ignite your football team.
Well, I'm not quite sure where he picked that punt up, but I'll tell you what, that's close to a 50 or 46-yard return inside the 10-yard line.
Timeout, Comets.
We had a timeout, I think, just before the snap. They didn't like either the front that Dunham had put them come out in, or possibly they didn't have the right personnel on the field, so Wayne Stein decides to take his first timeout.
And that gives us a chance to remind you that tonight's coverage on Crescent City Sports is brought to you by the Lamarck Automotive Complex in Kenner. Lamarck Ford, the #1 Ford dealer in the Metro New Orleans market. As Ronnie Lamarck says, must be a reason. Thank you, Ronnie Lamarck, and all of our sponsors on Crescent City Sports for bringing you high school football. Best game in town. Good look right here at Dunham, 2-0, Class 2A, top 10 Crescent City Sports poll ranking, and they deserve it. They have just waylaid some opponents, beating Parkview Baptist and Live Oak by a combined score of 73-10 to open this season 2-0. Calvary Baptist, good team. Try the left side. And once again,
Left side. Tackled on the play by number 70 for the Tigers. That's Eric Keys.
Nice tackle by number 70, Eric Keys, right there for the Dunham Tigers, stepping up in there. He gets off the block and fills the gap and does a nice job bringing down the Comet running back.
Landry LeBlanc, the sophomore quarterback. Only one game under his belt. The season opener, the loss to Newman, 24-10. Will hand off straight ahead. Gideon Mareks stopped short, but gets inside the 5-yard line.
Yeah, Gideon Maris is their pounder. He's the guy that wants to run in between the tackles hard. He gets the shoulder pad level down. He's looking up to pick up that tough yardage when you get down inside the 3-yard line.
Going under the 2-minute mark, outside of about 7 or 8 plays, this has been an entire St. Charles Comet first quarter. This is only their second possession with the football, but they were able to stuff the Tigers. So here we go, 3rd down. 3rd and goal at the 4. Landry LeBlanc will hand it off straight ahead, and Mareks again close, but not there. So it's coming down to 4th down again. They missed a field goal last time up. Wade Kaiser, the old coach, says go for the points sometimes, but do you do it here so close at the 2-yard line? Do you try to test that Dunham defense, which has risen to the occasion?
They've got to have
the big play.
They've got to have something good happen. I would kick the field goal because I want to get on the board. I got to have something positive. I don't know if that's going to be Wayne Stein's, motive apparatus here, but I think you got to come away with some points. Big chance for Dunham to step up and stiffen their neck here. Well, again,
the snap clock's down to 5, so they've got to do something pretty quick, and they're probably going to call a timeout. They saw the play clock running down. Took them a little longer to get that play in, maybe trying to make the decision whether to go for it. I don't think they were thinking field goal there because the field goal unit did not go out on the field. The offense stayed out there. They just took a little longer to get the play in, and this will give everybody just a little bit of time to regroup.
They've been playing a defensive back that normally starts in the secondary for St. Charles on the last couple of snaps, and they've given him a few snaps at running back. That's Rashawn Hillier. He's normally a defensive back, and I know we've talked about the injuries that St. Charles has had at their running back positions, so they've gone to a little, should we say, wildcat with Noah Tucker, who is one of the best athletes on the field, and they've also brought over a very fine athlete with Sean Hilliard to offense and giving him a few reps at running back.
Yeah, Hilaire is a senior and got a little experience. Take a look at St. Charles Catholic. Even though they started this season 0-1 and lost 17 players, the respect that everybody has for this program, even with an inexperienced sophomore quarterback in Landry LeBlanc. LeBlanc's back there to take the snap. He wants to throw. He's going to run to the right side instead. Breaks free and knocked out before he can cross that goal. The Dunham defense steps up, and that is big for the Dunham Tigers. Emotionally, they get the swing.
Yeah, they stiffen their neck. They bring blitzes off of both edges. Joshua Lazard gets home to put the pressure on LeBlanc. LeBlanc tries to escape out. It looks like he was going to get in right there at the end. He just couldn't get the extra yard he needed to break the goal line. Huge step up for the Dunham defense. That's 2 on the night now, down inside the red zone.
Wow, how big is that? 26 seconds to play in the first quarter. Probably almost 10 minutes of this first quarter belongs to the St. Charles Catholic. Fumble put on the ground, and the Comets have it. Recovered by Monica.
The question is, are they going to call that incomplete?
Yep, they're going to call it an incomplete pass. That would have been a big turnover because we have not really had a chance to see Elijah Haven at all.
Well, they swing it out of the backfield. It's a forward pass. It wasn't backwards. Receiver didn't get his number, drops the ball. It ends up being incomplete.
Here we go again, and this one a short pass, and right now Dunham just trying to play it safe, this close to their own goal line.
I think the intended receiver there was Chris Thomas. The ball was kind of aired out behind him. They're trying to hit the number 2 slant. The slot receiver in the trips formation on the quick slant. The ball was not thrown well by Haven. Kind of hung him out to dry as he was getting beat up by a lot of blue jerseys right there.
Well, number 5, standing a couple of yards deep in the end zone. He's going to keep this time, run straight ahead, caught it about the 2-yard line, spun around and driven back. So his forward progress will be at about the 2, maybe the 3-yard line. And right now, field position has been the key in this first quarter. We don't have official time numbers for you, but I guarantee you it was probably about 9 minutes of ball possession for St. Charles Catholic to about 3 minutes for Dunham. Anyway, that's the end of the first quarter with Dunham and St. Charles no score as the Dunham defense has come up big. My goodness.
And that's the end of the first quarter of tonight's ball game. 0 is on the board for both teams. All right, Comets fans, get those 50-50 tickets out. Again, tonight's 50-50 good for $460. And that winning 50-50 ticket number, 518-718. 518-718. If you hold that winning ticket, please report to the press box and grab your $560. Correction, $460. Sorry. Punting team on for the Tigers. Back deep to receive for the Comets. Number 1, Crescent.
Easton Giroux, he was up close, needed a quick snap. He had to rush the punt, and it's going to be a very short punt, and the St. Charles Catholic Comets have great field position at the, 17-yard line. They're going to mark it of the Dunham Tigers. And again,
I think it's somebody from St. Charles got a paw on that, got a little piece of that football, which caused him to get it shanked away. And the Comets are in great field position. They're playing on the Dunham side of the field.
Well, they've been playing on the Dunham side of the field all this time, and I guess ball possession, you keep the football and you don't give it to the excellent quarterback. You don't let him get many reps with the football, which has happened so far. So the Comets have it, and there's Tucker again in that Wildcat, and naturally he'll fake the handoff and keep himself. As you said, when Tucker gets it, he's going to keep it, and he did right there. Noah Tucker over the left side for a gain of 2, 2nd down and 8.
So they're breaking out the Wildcat with Tucker. They've got 2 or 3 plays in that we've seen so far. A little quarterback power to the left, quarterback power to right, little zone read off the left edge, right edge, and then they have the inside quarterback read where he'll hit and run in the A gaps inside. They'll probably take this offense with the Wildcat and add to it each week, just enough to give him a taste each week to be able to do something with the ball. He's an outstanding athlete.
Tucker again. This time he does. No. Good fake. Tucker around the left side. Tucker to the end zone. Touchdown, but hold everything. Is there a flag on the play? Yeah, there is a flag on the play. Back at the 15-yard line. Far side, just out of our camera shot.
You're going to get a holding call again. This would be, there it is. This would be the 3rd holding call that the Comets have gotten tonight in the first half. That's going to wipe that off the board. You saw Tucker zone read it to his left. He was watching the last guy on the line of scrimmage chase down the running back. He pulls the ball and darts out the back end. You saw his jets, right? I mean, you saw the speed that he has, what he brings to the table. They have a nice little package in for him, and they're just going to, like I said, build off of that each week.
And what's impressive is Noah Tucker, a senior, has shown that he can run it left, right, up the middle, doesn't matter. He cuts very well. This time LeBlanc back in at quarterback, a big rush, and he'll just have to throw it away. got it out there, was intended for Mareks. He was the closest player to it, but the pressure was coming, and that time Landry LeBlanc did a good job of just getting rid of that ball.
Strong safety comes off the edge. That was Eason Giroux. Does a nice job coming from his strong safety position with the blitz. They blitz the strong safety. They blitz the play side linebacker. Offensive line from St. Charles does a nice job picking up the linebacker, but they didn't pick up Giroux. They blitzed one too many for the protection.
So LeBlanc with McLean in the backfield with him. Here comes the rush again by the Dunham Tigers. Landry on the move, and he'll throw to the right side. Is it caught? No, incomplete. Intended down there for Noah Tucker.
Yeah, a little speed out right there by the receiver, Tucker. Ball just wasn't in the right place. I like how they moved the pocket. They sprint LeBlanc out to get him away from the rush, and he does a nice job, just didn't have the ball on target.
Now, hard to believe, with St. Charles Catholic just dominating time of possession here and playing on Dunham's side of the field, they have yet not been able to get anything on the board. Touchdown called back for a holding penalty, missed field goal.
Well, 5 penalties, I believe, so far in the first half. That's going to do it to you wherever you are on the field.
So the sophomore quarterback, Landry LeBlanc. A lot of poise for this sophomore also. Look at the time he gets now. He'll throw long. He'll go for the end zone. Big crowd of people. Receiver goes down. No flags. Incomplete.
That's a sophomore mistake. He's throwing into about 4 guys in white jerseys and 1 blue jersey, right? He needed to take a glance someplace else, probably secondary receiver. Sophomores, a lot of time, they're told where to throw. They practice all week. Look at that number 1. I'm throwing the ball to that number 1 receiver, right? As they get older, as they learn, they'll be able to check it to their number 2 read and their number 3 read. And LeBlanc will learn that as he matures as a quarterback.
So they'll turn it over on downs. Dunham takes over. Let's see if they can finally get something started with 10:41 to play in the first half here. Good look at Elijah Haven. And flags go down right off the bat procedure.
Center decide to snap the ball, but not snap the ball and put it back down on the ground. It's one of those, did anybody see it? And he just didn't move. It was kind of good. I like that. He moves the ball through his legs and puts it back down like nobody saw that.
Center is Connor Guidros. And this time he'll go to the right side. Good reach up, but can't pull it down and hold it on that one. And that was intended for Jarvis Washington. Washington in 2 games so far has caught 7 for 126, 2 TDs. He's been one of the main receivers since coming over from Madison Prep. Second down. Keeper all the way for Haven at quarterback. Gets to the 30-yard line and no more. Gain of about 6.
See, that's what they've got to do.
The chains.
They've got to get their running game going with the quarterback and the running back against a 5-man box. When he looks up and he sees a 5-man box with 2 people high in the secondary, they've got to check to some sort of run.
Third down, needs about 7, and they get it. Got the first down and a little bit more. It's Jarvis Washington.
Great route out there by Washington. Nice comeback. He gets the sticks, comes back to catches the ball. Big first down for Dunham.
You know, Dunham had a lot of people coming back on this offense. And then you get a couple of transfers in, which they did, and Jarvis Washington being one. He just adds to that. When you look at what this young man has done, Jarvis Washington as a player, pretty impressive.
Another flag on the field, a little call of illegal procedure against the Dunham Tigers. They're going to move him back 5 yards.
Here's Haven again. He'll throw, caught, and hit. Ball bounces out. I think they'll call that incomplete. Was for I believe Richard Montgomery.
Great coverage out there by Brooks Monica. He walked out underneath the second receiver. Ball drops back into a pass situation. He gets under the hip of the number 1 receiver and plays great defense and knocks that ball away.
Second down. Well, they finally got that big first down last time up. Look at Haven as he escapes once, twice, third time, and then dumps it off. Too short, dropped by Piku.
Another flag.
Well, I'll tell you, Elijah Haven a little tough to get down there. You know, everybody's a little hot, sweaty down there. Everybody's uniform's a little slippery, but pretty good escapability by Haven.
I guess that's not a flag. It looks like maybe somebody's towel that's down there from our vantage point. Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it did look like a flag, but it is a towel.
Yeah, well, Haven's a big kid. He's hard to bring down. If you stand next to him, he's 6'5".
Third down, 15. Got a long way to go for a first. He's got a man wide open. It is caught, and there's your first down, and a nice catch by Eason Jarreau, your punter and wide receiver. Got wide open between 3 defenders that time and pulled it in.
Love the combination. Clearing it out with the vertical, running the rail right behind the vertical, and sitting down in the underneath coverage between the corner and the safety. Nice ball, nice delivery by Haven.
Out of the 38-yard line. First down of the Comets. He'll go left this time with it to Chris Thomas, his first reception of the evening. Doesn't get much.
Man, I love the physicality by the corner from the Comets, Joe Stovall. He comes up, fights through the block, turns the screen inside, and makes the tackle.
Pretty popular name. If you're carrying the Stovall name, you better be a hard hitter, right? No relation to Jerry Stovall, we're told, and the LSU family. This time the handoff, they'll try running it right up the middle, and they get a little bit going there. Straight ahead goes Colin Piku.
St. Charles has given him a 5-man box. Dunham is going to have to establish their run game somehow.
Short of the first down. Third down, 4. And to get to about the 28-yard line, right outside the 30. Haven dropped it, picked it up, throws left. That'll be caught, but short of the first down to the 30-yard line. That'll be a couple of yards short.
It was an errant snap. Ball goes off to his right. He taps it up in the air back to himself, right? That's the basketball player. Great hands, right? I had the great opportunity to be an assistant coach here at St. Charles with the great Don Fernandez, who was the basketball coach. And I tell you what, he worked ball drills like that every practice because not all the time are those passes coming to the right place. Not all the time are these snaps coming in the right place. You got to be able to handle a bad snap, and Haven did that.
And Don speaks well of you. Haven with the long one going forward and a little bumping down there. No harm, no foul. That was intended for Jarvis Washington. Incomplete.
Great coverage down
on
there.
Fourth down, so they'll turn it over on downs.
Another sophomore mistake. He needed to come to his second receiver. They had 2 blue jerseys on 1 white jersey. You need to go to the second guy, which means somewhere, someplace, there's only 1 and 1, right? You have 1 white jersey, which is your guy, on 1 blue jersey. That's what you've got to do. He needs to be able to go to his second read. He will learn that. He is a sophomore.
By the way, Don Fernandez and Michael Guidry both said tell you hello because they enjoyed working with you here at St. Charles Catholic when you worked here.
Well, Don Fernandez, I learned a lot from the man. I tell you what, he's a great family. The Fernandezes here in the River Parishes, long time at Riverside, and then he did such a great job here for years, not only as a basketball coach, but as an educator, a teacher, and an administrator here at St. Charles Catholic. Truly a part of the Comet Foundation and fabric.
First and 10 of the 30, run left doesn't get much, gets about 2, maybe 3, let's call it second down and 7. Still no score in this ball game. And the Comets, well, one of their offensive game plans was to control the time of scrimmage, or the time of possession, pardon me, and control the line of scrimmage to make that happen, and they've done that. They just haven't been able to put points on the board to touch on it. So, again, they're going to go with that package. We talk about Noah Tucker.
Another tackle by Joshua Lazard. We've called his name a couple times. He's kind of all over the place as a linebacker. Does a nice job. He's not a starter, but he subs in a lot. You got to remember, Dunham's going to play a lot of people both ways, and he's one of these guys that comes in and spells some of those starters that also play on offense. But that's his second tackle tonight that he's been credited for. He's an outside linebacker or a strong safety, depending on how they line him up.
Third down for the Comets to keep this drive going. They need something to happen. Noah Tucker will run it again from the Wildcat. This time he will hand it off. And a nice turn, nice cut that time. McLean has the first down and a whole lot more. Crosses the 50 and is in Dunham territory at the 47-yard line.
Comets have Evan Dufour out at wide receiver that time. Sometimes he's a running back, sometimes a wide receiver, depending on the formation. He does a great job turning the corner in down there, allowing the running back, Tucker, to be able to bounce it outside and up the boundary and pick up a first down.
18-yard gain. Timeout. Officials. That's the hydration break. Under 6 minutes, 5:58. It gives us the opportunity to remind you that the second quarter is brought to you by Ochsner. Tonight's coverage of Crescent City Sports is brought to you by the Ochsner Andrews Sports Medicine Institute, treating more than 30,000 athletes a year with innovative treatments for sports injuries. Visit ochsner.org/sports-med to learn more. That's ochsner.org/sports with a little dash med to learn more. Thank you, Ochsner. And
they need that hydration timeout here at 5:58. I need a hydration timeout, right?
This has been an intense game.
Well, it's not just intense.
You feel it.
I'm old and it's hot.
You were smart enough to wear short pants. I forgot. So, listen, what's been impressive to see is how well the Comets have been able to control the time of possession in this game. They have not given the ball a whole lot, very many minutes to Dunham. Dunham has not been able to get any type of rhythm going for this great little quarterback, Elijah Haven. And now first down after that big play right under the hydration break. So we're under the 6-minute mark. They'll go to the left side, and that's Kristen McLean around the left side. He's very close to a first down. Again, let's see if they give it to him. It is a first down, Comets.
Impressed with Kristen McLean. They had him lined up out at the slot in a 3-by-1 formation to the wide side of the field. They dumped the ball out on a slot screen right there. He's got nice hands. He catches the ball well, and then he knows what to do when the ball is in his hands. He gets vertical. They're playing him at running back because he's the second running back due to Skylar Edwards still being out.
Oh, we haven't talked about that.
Right, and he runs downhill. Yeah, I mean, Skylar Edwards, as I said, he brings 907 yards from last year and 11 touchdowns, right, in 2023. You know, he's a big part of that offense that is out. So, McLean does a nice job filling in a lot of areas.
Here's your first down. Run. And let's see, I believe that one was...
McLean picks the right side for 3. Second down.
That's McLean again.
Playing him all over the place, like I said, in the slot, running back. He runs downhill.
3-yard gain. And you see St. Charles Catholic not in any hurry. They're using a lot of the play clock, and that's part of that time of possession we talk about to keep it out of the hands of the most explosive player in the country, the #1 pick in the class of 27. They'll go straight ahead once again, just chugging away. Kristen McLean. And as Wade said, as he goes through, it's going to be very close to a first down. Will they take time out and measure, or do they give it to him? He's got it, first down.
The guy that lays the block is a guy named Gideon Merricks, number 28, the fullback. They have him stuffed right up in between the guard and the tackle right there. He was the lead block up on the linebacker on the ISO to pop the running back, McLean, for the first down. I love these guys that kind of stick their nose in there and they're going to hit you right in the teeth, right? And he's one of those type of guys. We're talking about Gideon Merricks, a senior.
A sustained ball control drive and goes once again to McLean that you just talked about. And McLean straight ahead. He'll be picking up 5 to the 21-yard line, so that'll make it second down and about 5.
Love those 2nd down and 5 calls, right? Your whole play sheet, I say this all the time, your whole play sheet comes into balance for the offensive coordinator, so that way he can throw the ball off of play action. He can take a shot if he wants to. If you can run the ball at 5 yards a shot, everything falls into play.
McLean again. McLean with the handoff, cuts back into the line. Looked like he wanted to go wide. Saw a hole open up, tried to go through it. It closed quickly and will get nothing. Well, let's see, maybe a yard. Got a yard down to the 20-yard line. It brings it 3rd down and 4.
Impressed with this Dunham defense. They're a little light in the tail, right? But what they do is they get off of blocks real well and they pursue to the ball. These guys get 5, 6, 7 jerseys a time in on the tackle, and that's the mark of a good defense.
They like to wreak a little havoc with their undersized but speed, playmaking ability, and toughness overall. That describes the Dunham defense.
It's called light in the tail.
This time, McLean nowhere to go, and he puts his head down and just pushes forward for 1. So now that's going to bring up 4th down and 3. St. Charles Catholic in 4 possessions. All have reached the red zone, yet no points on the board for the Comets.
Guy who makes the play that time for the Dunham defense, Richard Bonneville. He's one of the brothers of Bonneville, right? You got one in the defensive secondary, Bronson, and you have a linebacker, Richard. It was Richard that time coming off his linebacker edge, making a nice play.
McLean next to the quarterback, Landry LeBlanc. Somebody jumped, and that's going to give the Comets a 1st down if they get 5 free here. Now that'll probably have Neil Warner just scratching his head.
That's a killer. Yeah. That's a killer to a defense. Those are things that you can't do when you're in a 0-0 ball game and you've bowed your neck up twice inside the red zone and then you jump off sides. There's no excuses for it. He's going to come off the field, whoever that young man was, and he's going to probably get ripped.
Yeah. In the meantime, Neil Weiner still has to be very proud of this defense for what they have done so far. 4 trips to the red zone and no points out of this.
Just because you're ripping them doesn't mean you're not proud of them, right?
1st and 10 from the 15. Little double reverse. Nope. Just a handoff.
Look at that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 white jerseys.
Them coming off the ball, and they stop Noah Tucker.
Jonah McLean that time for Dunham leading that charge, and then 5 other white jerseys join in. Those guys run to the ball well. Very impressive.
They waste no time. But look again, time of possession. We're down to 1:30 to play, 90 seconds in the first half, and we'll have to count up the plays when we get it from the stats. But time of possession is just unbelievable for the Comets. Let's see if they can get points out of it. A couple of broken tackles and a spin them around and throw down of McLean to maybe save a touchdown.
Reeves Johnson saves that touchdown. Oh, we got a call. Another hold. No, it's a face mask.
Oh, wow.
It's face mask against the Tigers.
Against Dunham.
So will it be the 5-yard type or is it going to be the 15-yard type? I didn't see the personal foul.
Either way,
signal.
It's probably going to be about, if it's 15, it's half the distance, which is about.
It's going to give them a first down. It'll be first and goal.
But it's the automatic first down. That's the key. 1st and goal, and a lot of opportunities here for the Comets trying to get their first points on the board. But they're also working against the clock. They've got 1:14 to get it done, and 1 timeout remaining for St. Charles Catholic in this half. Landry LeBlanc, the handoff. McLean, left side, pushing. Not there yet, down to the 1-yard line.
He's just going to be shy. It's McLean being the workhorse right now for the Comet offense, but don't discount that offensive line that's doing a nice job up front for the Comets also. You got to remember the guys from Dunham, a lot of those guys play both ways. Their offensive and their defensive linemen are lining up, playing both sides of the ball, as well as most of their secondary.
At St. Charles Catholic, follower Skylar Edwards has not played since the Jamboree. He was injured and hoping to make a start tonight, but not ready to go. Straight ahead, the push, the dive, the extra effort. Does he get in? We're looking down to the half-yard line, and that again is Hilaire coming in there. Rashawn Hilaire getting that call. He made a great effort to try to break the plane, but I think his knee went down first. Now they talk about it and give him the touchdown.
Well, except in high school, but every other league, what they're going to do is they're going to look at a replay of that, right? You know, we can't tell here, but Hilaire kept telling them it's a touchdown, and they believe them, and they give the Comets the touchdown.
Well, they get in with 10 seconds to play. And again, they're trying to go.
Swinging gate.
Swinging gate. They go for the 2 and they get it. So they might not have been able to get some extra 6s, but they got an extra point instead of the kick in the 1, especially with Tyler Moliotto, the starting kicker, not playing tonight due to a little injury. Instead of going to the backup, who missed the field goal earlier, from up close, they go for 2 and they get it, and it's 8-0 St. Charles Catholic leading Dunham. You try to get as many points as you can, right, Wade? Where you can get them.
Thank you to our Blue Athletic sponsor.
Once again, we want to remind you that Ochsner is our second quarter sponsor, and we thank them for their coverage of high school football on Crescent City Sports, brought to you by the Ochsner Andrews Sports Medicine Institute, treating more than 30,000 athletes a year with innovative treatments for sports injuries. Visit ochsner.org/sports-med to learn more. And they'll just kind of kick this one into a spot where hopefully nobody can get it. And that's what happens. 10 seconds to play in this first half. And we'll see if Elijah Haven can get anything going. Remember, Dunham won the toss. They deferred. So they will be receiving to start the second half of play. And that might be, depending on how they return that kickoff or where it goes, that might be their best field position of this game, unless they can make something happen here in 10 seconds on maybe 2 plays. You can get 2 and 10 depending on.
Well, they need they've got a couple of timeouts. They would need a couple of receptions. They can go across the middle, and they can even run the football if they need to.
It's got to be quick, though.
It's got to be very quick.
Haven, nothing fancy here. They'll just hand off, go straight ahead. Colin Piku are on the right side, down to 4 seconds, 3 seconds, 2 seconds, 1 second. Do they call the timeout? They do.
And they were late calling that timeout. The minute he went down, they needed to call that timeout. Getting the ball on that side of the field, now he can take a shot at the end zone if he wanted to. Had a few ticks come off the clock before they got a chance to stop it.
Well, now the clock starts, and I think they're going to have to reset. And let's see if they put 1. Maybe they called timeout earlier. Well, that's it. First half runs out. I'm not sure why, unless they didn't call time for some reason, but I thought sure they called timeout on the far sideline. I didn't see it, but that will end the first half with St. Charles Catholic leading Dunham by the score of 8-0. We'll take a break and be back with our halftime show right after this on CrescentCitySports.com.
Reminder, Comets fans, double lines on single night for $7. It benefits the SCC golf team. Correction, it benefits our softball teams. Thank you to our sponsors, Aaron Tragg and Robbie LeBlanc. Be sure to go get your bowl.
All right, welcome back to St. Charles Catholic and Monica Field, Frank Monica Field. And let's look at some scores at halftime from around the state. As always, your best source for up-to-the-minute scores every Friday night is at CrescentCitySports.com on our Prep Scoreboard, presented always by the All-State Sugar Bowl.
Let's look at some 5A scores to start off with. St. Augustine is up 7-0 on Cardinal Ritter College out of Missouri. That's a long ride down here to play the Purple Knights.
Well, that'd be a 3-0 start for Robert Valdez if it holds.
There you go. Ruston up 7-0 on Longview, Texas. West Monroe up 28-14 on North DeSoto. St. Paul's beating De La Salle. De La Salle will be playing St. Charles next week. They just don't get any easier, right, for the St. Charles Catholic Comets. But St. Paul's right now up 14-0 on De La Salle. Vanderbilt Catholic up 14-0 on Sulphur. St. James up 6-0 on Terrebonne, another opponent for the Comets in a couple of weeks. Terrebonne 0-0. Assumption Thibodaux. Salmon up 30-0 on Bogalusa. Scotlandville, McKinley tied at 0. Warren Easton, a new addition to the Catholic League, up 7-0 on Slidell.
How about Jerry Phillips and those Warren Easton Eagles trying to make a name for themselves before they start Catholic League play in 9-5A?
Well, I don't know if you want to call it Catholic League anymore. It's probably 9-5A is
it's
what you
just
need to call it.
9-5A
right.
now. Maybe the City League, like it used to be a long time ago.
Lutcher comes back after their hurricane woes from last week. Hope everybody's well out in St. James Parish. They are up 7-6 on Liberty. Ponchatoula down
to Live Oak.
Yeah, to Live Oak, 15-7. Mandeville up 21-0 on George Washington Carver. Tight one, Neville 14-12 over Holmes County Central High School out of Mississippi. A lot of people going out of state this week in week 3. 0-0 game between Como and New Iberia. North Shore is down to Lakeshore 19-3. Pope John Paul up 14-7 to Riverdale. Lafayette in a 0-0 ball game with Mamou. Riverside Academy right here in the River Parish is up 28-0 on the new school up in Ascension Parish, Prairieville, a 5A school playing varsity football for their first year.
They are 5A, that's right.
That is correct. Hahnville and Edie White 9-3. That's a slugfest. Edie White up 9-3 on Hahnville. University, who I hear has an excellent football team, is down 7 points to Catholic of Baton Rouge. 2 contenders, heavyweight contenders in both of their divisions. Catholic up 14-7 on University High. South Lafourche in a tied ball game with Central Lafourche. The battle of the Lafourche Parish guys up and down Bayou Lafourche, 14-14. Holy Cross, Chalmette, you're interested in this one, 0-0 tie out in the parish.
We're at halftime?
They are at our second quarter, almost halftime. Sam Houston, East Ascension, that's going to be tomorrow. East Jefferson and the Willow School. East Jefferson looking nice, 6-0 over the Willow School. Edna Carr, also part of the Catholic League, 9-5A, up 8-0 on McDonough 35. That is a huge rivalry. Destrehan took it on the chin against a very good Catholic High Baton Rouge team last year, is also down. They traveled up to Alexandria, getting beat 21-13. Alexandria is no slouch either. Alexandria has a good football team. Archbishop Shaw up 14-7 for the megaphone over Archbishop Rummel. In a battle of Jefferson Parish Catholic Schools, Jesuit 24, Bonneville 0. Jesuit coming off a big win against E.D. White last week down in Thibodaux. Second quarter, Brother Martin 14-7 over the Legacy School of Sports Science out of Texas. That was a mouthful. C.E. Bird 0, Evangel 0. That's a big one up in Shreveport tonight. St. Thomas More up 7-3 on Acadiana. Boy, is that a big ball game in South Lafayette tonight. Airline 22, Union Parish 7. And John Arrett is in a 0-0 ball game against Lord Beaconsville Landry. There's a few of your scores.
Now, when you said a lot of people playing schools from Mississippi now, they used to do that a long time ago in the 50s and 60s. They'd pick a school, and remember the 1963 Holy Cross High School state champions had gone to Meridian, Mississippi and beat Meridian, who went on to win the state championship in Mississippi in their division at that time. So the Tigers at the end of the year said, wait a minute, We're state champions of Louisiana, and since we beat Meridian, we're state champions of Mississippi. State champions of 2 states.
In
1963 team. There you go.
Had to go through a lot of scheduling problems when you're trying to find teams to play, and schedules just don't match up. I had to go out of state a few times to play a few teams. A lot of times the states' contracts do not match up today, right?
Yes.
You might be on an even year. Mississippi, who is on an odd year, you might only get that one game, whereas you might have to travel, or they might have to travel to you, and then you're back looking for somebody in the second half of that contract. Florida is on the same even numbered year as Louisiana. At least it was 10 years, or what, how long have I been retired now? 11 years? 11 years ago they were on the same contract page, so we would play teams out of Florida like Pensacola High School, because you can do a home and home with them. Texas, it all depends on what league you're looking at. Texas has the UIL, and they also have their independent football league, which are on 2 different contracts. So lining up contracts out of Texas is a little dicey sometimes, so you might only end up with 1 ball game. But it's about filling that particular slot in a contract year when you can't find anybody else to play. You just don't want to go with an open date.
Well, the time of possession was the big stat we were looking for in the first half, and here it is. The St. Charles Comet Catholics had the ball for 18 minutes and 35 seconds, allowing the Dunham school, the Dunham Tigers, to only have it for 5 minutes and 25 seconds. So when you come in with a great quarterback, and once again, Elijah Haven, the sophomore quarterback, young man, mature, all the talent in the world, the number 1 pick in the nation, the number 1 prospect, in the nation for the class of 27. All the major colleges, groups of 5, Power 5s, Power 4s want him. Well, if you can't have you can't touch the football a whole lot, you can't get anything going. So when you've only had it for 5 minutes and 25 seconds out of a possible 24 minutes, and St. Charles Catholic has controlled it for 18:35, here's the bright side of that. Your defense has come through, and you've only given up 8 points on 4 possessions for St. Charles Catholic. All this done on 4 possessions, 2 possessions in each quarter weight, and they get to the red zone, inside the red zone 4 times, and only come away with 8 points. Missed field goal, touchdown called back on a penalty.
Right. Well, St. Charles has had at least 5 flags inside the red zone, and you can't do that. So hence, you only get so many shots at scoring, right? Because you're penalizing yourself. Credit to the Dunham defense for doing a great job, but you can't have the flags inside the red zone. I am sure Wayne Stein hammered that home with his team at halftime.
The 2025 Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame, changing the subject just a little bit here. The induction class was announced earlier this week, and it hit home for both Dunham coach Neil Weiner. His father Dale is part of the 8 competitive inductees. The folks at St. Charles Catholic, they know a little bit about the Hall of Fame as well. A longtime head coach Frank Monica, their longtime head coach Frank Monica, we're playing on Frank Monica Field here, was inducted into the Hall this past June. You're looking at a picture of Dale, Neil, and Neil's son, Matthew, who played at Dunham and is now a student assistant at Louisiana Tech. Student assistant coach at Louisiana Tech. So there's Dad, who, by the way, won a state championship at Catholic High of Baton Rouge. And you're looking at Neil all the way on the right. And he's pretty excited about what he wants to do. Came to Dunham here in 2014, and it's very personal for him because his dad coached at Dunham when it wasn't called Dunham. It was called Trappin Academy, I believe, at the time. Trappin, am I saying it right? Trappin Academy. And he wasn't able to win a state championship there. It took him a little bit longer to get it. And 30 years in his coaching career, he's at Catholic High Baton Rouge, and he gets it there. And by the way, a great LSU player was on that team, Todd Kinchin, and when he won that one. And this is something that he'd like to do not only for him but the family. He remembers Traffin Academy. He remembers he and his sister going to school and just Dad going to work there. And he says, it's a place I can settle down. He started there in 2014, and he says, I'd just like to bring a really great program there. And I'll tell you what, not only has he done that now, but he's got a quarterback in Elijah Haven who should be with him for the next 3 years. I mean, this year and 2 more. He's a sophomore this year, had that great freshman year. We talked about that. Set the world on fire. And Renee Nadeau, who does the recruiting, is the recruiting guru for CrescentCitySports.com, put out a little report on Crescent City Sports saying, hey, the number 1 player and quarterback in the 2027 class, Dunham's Elijah Haven, will be visiting LSU this weekend for the UCLA game. It's his second visit in 2 weeks. He'll also visit Alabama soon. He's 6'4", 210 pounds, a sophomore, and everybody loves him. He's got offers already from Ole Miss, Baylor, Cornell, Texas Tech, Florida, Miami, Auburn, and Florida State. Lane Kiffin says Renee Nadeau is big time on him, really wants him at Ole Miss bad. And again, if you missed the numbers we said earlier before this broadcast, Haven, as a freshman last year, threw for 2,205 yards, 35 touchdowns, only 3 interceptions. Completed 67.7% of his passes, rushed for 641 and 12 more TDs, averaged 6 yards a carry. For good measure, he was second-team All-State in basketball, averaging 12.7 points, 9.4 rebounds, and 4 assists. And remember, he's just a sophomore. And when you listen to his interview, as we did on CrescentCitySports.com, very, very mature young man. Listen to what he says. He's a sophomore coming in, and he says, I want to thank God for my talent. He's not talking about wins. He said, just the talent to play the game, win or lose. But I also want to thank my parents for the direction they have put me in this life, for how they guide me through life. My coaches, my teachers, same things. And he says, the coaches and teachers tell me here after my freshman year that high school's quick, enjoy it. And he says, man, my freshman year went by so fast. I want to enjoy it. I want to have a good time. And he says, my goal this year, I want to play my best, be a vocal leader, make some plays, and let's see how far we can go. We want to get that state championship for Coach Weiner.
Well, I mean, early bird gets the worm, right? So everybody's coming in on him early. He's going to be a phenomenon. The thing that's got to take place between now and then, he's got to stay healthy. He's got to have things kind of fall in line. He has a good head on his shoulders, but, there's bumps in the road, right? And that was always my problem with the recruiting of young players at such a early stage in their career. But today, the whole landscape of recruiting in college athletics has changed. NIL money, everything all the way back to, offering 8th graders, when they're in 8th grade. So the bottom line is the whole scenery has changed, so there's no doubt you're going to have guys like, Power 5 coaches sitting in this guy's living room at such an early age. I don't like it. I don't think it's good for the game, but who am I to say that it's ever going to change? It's not. It's only going to increase, the pressure to win for coaches.
Well, here's an interesting.
It's a complete. I'm going to put it bluntly. I think it's all out of control.
Yeah.
So that's my 2 cents.
So does Nick Saban. That's why he's.
That's my 2 cents. Well, I think I was pretty Dale Carnegie about the way I said that, right?
You were very Dale Carnegie, proud of you, and you didn't even take the class yet. So,
and I didn't say
actually
anything.
You did, but a long time ago. Even if you didn't, you must have read the book.
Well, I've read a few books.
All right, one thing that Coach Neil Weiner was worried about in this game is he said, look, it's been a pretty easy ride so far for Elijah Haven. He loses his first game as a freshman starter, wins 9 in a row. We get into the playoffs. We finally get eliminated, so it's only 2 losses. We win the first 2 games this year. Now he's coming up against a football team in St. Charles Catholic that blitzes well. They'll show you blitz, but not. And he says this is going to be a learning experience in this game. Now, we don't know how much he's learned in the first half because they only had it for 5 minutes and 25 seconds.
Look, the young man's got the right coach. Neil Weiner knows exactly how to handle him, and he's gonna handle his career perfectly. And there's going to be a bunch of these bumps in the road for him, and he's playing a very good St. Charles Catholic team here tonight with a very good defense that are giving him different types of looks already.
Colin Piku on the return, and since Dunham deferred after winning the toss, they get the ball first in the second half, and this is probably in the few short possessions they haven't had real good starting field position, so not bad right here at the 34-yard line. Let's see what they can do, and if they have settled down a little bit at halftime, and if they can get some time of possession going in their favor.
They need to take advantage of this. They need to be able to run the football against these 5-man boxes that St. Charles has given them.
Nobody back there, empty backfield. Watch number 1 in that slot, the bottom of your screen, Jarvis Washington. Well, they will run. They'll just go right there with Elijah Haven going forward, and he'll get about 4, maybe 5.
There was a picture right there. You had 9 blue jerseys not able to put him on the ground after running quarterback draw. That shows you the size of this athlete, right? Elijah Haven, 6'5", he's about 215 pounds.
That's why everybody loves him, and he can throw a dart, and he can really toss it and make it look real easy. So that's Eason Giroux.
That's going to be close. This might be their first running first down of the evening. And it's first down.
Could be. So they get it at the 44-yard line, their own 44. Going up against a 4-man front, they're going to keep it on the ground. Here it goes forward, and that's Piku. Across midfield. And just trying to get something going, as you said, with the ground game first. It might open up a little bit for Elijah Haven. We really have not had a chance to see him throw the football a lot.
I think they've made a dedicated decision to run the football.
Haven't seen this in a long time. Helmet face mask got stuck together.
No, they're just saying hi. Question is, are they going to take them off the field? Since both of them were connected together because the rule says your helmet comes off, you've got to leave the field for one play. So it's going to be interesting to see how they enforce this rule. Nope, they're not. As it wasn't in the action of a play. It was in the action of saying hello.
Yeah.
There you go.
Tackle it. Listen, you don't take the helmet off there, they're going to be just hooked like 2 deer, with the interlock there. So
St. Charles brings a blitz from the field. They tried to bring the strong safety, and it's picked up nicely by the Dunham offensive line, which allows Haven just to get the ball out to his receiver down here on the left-hand side of the field, Chris Thomas.
So they move the chains. They get the first down. As you said, on first down, they're going to keep it on the ground. And once again, they go to Piku, and Piku straight ahead, not much.
Hey, blown up by Creed Mareks in the backfield. He does a nice job stepping up from his linebacker position and really blows up the run play right at the line of scrimmage.
No gain. Second down, 10 at the 45-yard line of the Comets. A dart thrown, and it's a completion down to the 32-yard line, and a nice play caught by Eason Giroux.
Again, St. Charles blitzes again. It looks like they've made a decision in their halftime talks to blitz the quarterback a little more. They brought a blitz that time, and they got burned on the slant pass.
Yep, and you throw to Piku, or you rather give to Piku and let him carry it down to the 30-yard line for a few. Well, one of the things that, again, Neil Weiner wanted to see Haven do was make good decisions against a team that'll either blitz you a lot or show you blitz and give you something else. And that time, a nice job of just getting something back to the line of scrimmage and getting 1 or 2 more past the 30 down to the 29-yard line. Third down, however, and 7 for Dunham.
Well, that time it was a nice decision by Haven. He looks out to the combination curl flat route over to his right wide side of the field. It's all covered up by blue jerseys. Instead of trying to force something in there, he tucks the ball, gets up the field, and picks up a few positive yards.
1 and 7 have been the go-to guys. 7 is Trevor Heyman. We have not seen much go his way. The other Trevor Washington, the transfer from Madison Prep, who's got a lot of speed. Big blitz, there it is. Here comes Heyman. He's going to throw it long. He's got a man down there, and it's intercepted in the end zone. It's coming back the other way. Returned out to the 20, 25. And that is Preston Comb.
Preston Comb got a block 2 weeks ago against Newman in a game. And tonight he comes up big with an interception in the end zone on a deep ball, which he had the receiver covered on the go route perfectly on top of him, matching him stride for stride. Ball's a little bit overthrown, and he gets a pick in the end zone and brings it out. Huge play for Preston Calm.
Well, that stops the Dunham Tiger drive and gives new life to the St. Charles Comets. Let's see if they just stay with their ball control offense. This is their first possession of this second half. Third quarter here, 9:01 to play. Had a personal foul on that, too.
So they're going to tack on 15 more yards, and that's going to give the Comets a little bit better field position.
There's a couple of towels or pieces of paper on the field that look like flags, and we're not sure, folks, sometimes if it's a flag or not, but they get a few extra there, and they'll just hand it right off to the workhorse, Kristen McLean. McLean, that's what he wants to do. You pick up 5-6 yards a carry, and you just eat clock and keep the ball out of the hands of the Dunham offense. That's the game plan for St. Charles Catholic, and it has worked in the first half. 18:35 time of possession in favor of St. Charles Catholic in the first half to only 5 minutes and 25 seconds offensively. This is unofficial stats, but close for Dunham. Second down after the gain of 7. Second and a little bit more than 3. Evan Dufour in the game now as a running back. They'll go out to McLean as they got him out of the backfield and had him split wide to the right. They've got the first down across the 50 and into Dunham territory.
We've seen that a couple of times so far tonight.
Gain of 5.
They put McLean out in the slot, and they just get the ball out there to him real quick. It's no different than a toss sweep. It's a nice way to play a quick pitch and catch, which also kind of turns into a run for the young man. He can get the ball and get vertical as quick as he can with a couple of blockers out in front, a couple of the other receivers.
And listen, nothing fancy here, just moving the ball slowly down the field, letting the clock just run. And once again, McLean, as we told you in the first half, you haven't heard about Skylar Edwards. And Skylar Edwards, a 1,000-yard rusher last year and wasn't even a starter. And he has produced so much, 119 carries and just right under that 1,000-yard mark, 11 touchdowns. But he incurred an injury in the Jamboree, and he has not played yet. They were hoping he would be ready to go, the Comets were, in this game. Skylar Edwards, junior running back. But right now, Kristen McLean has picked up the slack along with Hilaire and Marix. They have gotten the job done. Flags all over the place. Procedure.
A lot of flags tonight for the Comets. Those are things that they got to iron out.
Well, remember, the Comets played their first game. They lost 17 key players, went down there to Newman at Lupin Field, lost 24-10. It was a frustrating game because they were 1 of 10 on third down conversions, and I think on fourth down they had a couple of tries, missed that. Very frustrating. Lost it 24-10. Had some opportunities, just didn't feel they were clicking, and it was a come-out game for Landry LeBlanc, the quarterback. He's a sophomore, and that's him throwing left right there, just off the fingertips of McLean on a catchable ball, but he may have heard footsteps.
Catchable ball, he better get on that ball real fast, right? Because an official out there, if that ball's thrown parallel, it's a fine line whether it's backwards or forwards, correct? So just don't stand there and look at that ball on the ground. You better be chasing that thing down, either kicking it out of bounds, getting it out of bounds, picking it up, or doing something, because you just don't know how that call is going to go.
Third down for St. Charles Catholic, and 4. They're at their own 47. Coming around the right side, McLean makes the turn. He's very close to first down yardage at the 49-yard line. Let's see. Where will they mark it? Check that. I'm sorry. That's 4th and 9. They were behind the chains, and I lost track of that. First game back for me. So 4th and 9, not 4th and 1. And the Comets will have to punt it away. So Brooks Monica puts a pretty good foot into it, but shanks it off to the right side and goes out of bounds, so it won't be the kind of punt he was looking for. And Dunham will have some pretty good field position on this one. with 5:57 to go, and we'll have a hydration timeout, I would imagine, here. And we will. That gives us an opportunity to remind you that tonight's coverage on Crescent City Sports is brought to you by Game On Social Hub at 2421 Veterans in Kenner. With a full-service restaurant, arcade games, bowling, axe throwing, and laser tag. Come on, Game On. Come on to Game On, because it has it all, folks, I promise you. They're open till midnight tonight, and on Monday nights from 6 to 7, join Ken Trahan and special guest for live football conversations on 106.1, The Ticket, leading right up to Monday Night Football. So, boy, Ken's had some really good guests there.
Great guests.
Including one of my old friends, Brad Edelman, was there one time with him.
Has he done any axe throwing yet? That's what I want to know. Does Kenny get into that axe throwing?
Well...
Or don't trust him with an axe in his hand. That's what you're looking at me and saying, right? Okay. Well, I want to go do some axe throwing. That sounds like fun.
Let's put it this way. Make sure you're standing on his side of the axe throw.
And I just got to make sure, yeah, there you go.
Oh, Game On. What a great place. All right, Haven, right off the fingertips. And you see, with the ball control that the Comets are playing, you're looking at a team that can't get any rhythm going at all. That off the fingertips of Eason Giroux.
Eason Giroux should have had that. He was live, wide open, in a perfect position in between the zone. The Comets still giving a 5-man look up front, and Dunham not taking advantage of the running game on this. Oh, here we go.
Second down at 10. Well, this one will be Haven keeping it himself, and he'll get past the 35 up to the 36, 37, and that's going to be it. They'll mark it at the 36-yard line, and all of a sudden it's third down. So one thing right now that Dunham cannot afford, trailing 8-0, is to go 3-and-out quickly and give the ball back to Comets. Their defense needs a little rest. They had the hydration break, but guys need just a little bit of time off the field. Haven, he finds a target under pressure and delivers a strike for the first down. That's where you need to be, and Eason Giroux pulls it in.
Eason Giroux kind of ran under that thing. I think Haven threw it out to a point. I didn't think it was a very good throw. He needs to be careful and make a little bit better decision on that. You can credit Giroux for going to get the football and kind of saving that thing from getting picked.
Yeah, Haven just had to get rid of it last time. This time he bounces off somebody who thought he was going to throw it, but he's already past the line of scrimmage. Then got knocked back, and he thought twice, pulled it in wisely, and just went and got a couple of extra yards on the far side of the field.
You can see the strength of Haven, right? People bouncing off of his legs. You hit him in the thighs, you just kind of doink off of him. He's a put together kid for a 15-year-old.
Yeah, 6'5", like you said, big, tall young man, can see over everything. Maybe a little winded. He'll hand it off to give himself a rest, and that's Piku busting up the middle for a first down to the 40-yard line and maybe inside. They'll mark it right at the 40-yard line.
I like the decision. You've got to run the ball between the tackles in a 5-man box and get a body on a body and a helmet on a helmet with your offensive line.
Well, they give the Piku that time, but flag on the play.
Refs both play dead. Penalty flags on the play.
You can see right now, this might be participation. 12 men on the field. Somebody didn't get off in time.
Well, that's another thing the tempo does for you. Everything's getting set real quick, but the official has also got to hold that to allow teams to make substitutions, correct? They didn't do that. You get caught with not having your personnel off the field when you're trying to make a personnel change. Now, in high school, there's none of these rules. If you make a change, we can make a change. There's none of that. It's up to the official to control the timing of how they allow teams to make changes. 1st and 4, hand off to Piku straight ahead. He won't get it all, but he gets a bunch of it, bringing up 2nd down and 2, maybe a little bit more than 2. And they're down at the 31-yard line of the Comets. See the quick tempo again.
Showing blitz. St. Charles Catholic, they're always going to blitz a lot or show you blitz and give you something else. And that's what Neil Weiner was wanting his quarterback to understand. Handle that. We've got to handle that to keep the ball moving. This time they showed it didn't go. They overthrows a receiver that was breaking open, and that's Trevor Heyman. We haven't seen Heyman do very much in this game. He's been well covered.
Well, he was just missed right there. That wasn't a very good ball thrown by Haven, right? I mean, he missed the receiver wide open in between the zone.
3rd down, 2 at the 33. Haven on the keeper has the first. I think that's just a towel down you see on the field there, not a flag. And that's a first down.
Look, he can make a lot of things happen with his feet. They need to expand his area in the running game and what they can do with him. There's so much that they can do with him to be able to help him with his feet, to help the offense.
As Washington on the far side, Washington hit immediately, but that's a bunch. He got about 9 on that reception, as Dunham now just using the same thing that the Comets use, just a slow, controlled game. They like to do it with passing. They like to spread it out, throw the ball a lot, use the fake as they did right there. Giroux inside the 10-yard line.
All of those passes that are real quick out to the flank, they force you to have to make tackles in the open field. Trying to get their kids to be able to make moves in the open field, that puts a lot of pressure on your defense. They better get a blue jersey out onto the receivers on the top of the screen. There's 2-on-1 out there. A lot of room on that slot receiver.
Piku's at his best in a situation like this. Run down from behind. Haven hit from behind, then hit from the front. A couple of guys combined, including Tyler Bovia and others, to make the stop.
Thing this tempo does to your defense, well, is it also gives you the opportunity, as an offense to the defense to be able to see what they're going to be giving you in blitzes and in coverages. What are they going to disguise? What are they going to show and then back out of? That's a lot of times what they'll do. They'll come up as an offense, clap their hands, get you to move, get you to stem, and then they'll stop, look at what you're going to do, and then make another call from the sidelines.
Well, St. Charles had to use their second timeout of this half, or the first timeout of this half. They've got 2 remaining, but I think they had too many men on the field, and they had to call timeout not to give up the 5. They had somebody hustling, trying to get off the field, realizing that might not happen. They called timeout.
Yeah, kind of tripped over the white line. That's why you heard me go, whoop. he looks like me trying to run off the field today, right? But, I mean, he was trying to hustle to get off the field, and, again, the hurry-up offense and everything that it's doing with tempo kind of puts you in that type of bind if you're trying to make substitutions. It forces you sometimes to play with what you have on the field, whether you're going to stay in a nickel look or a basic look. And you can't get your subs in fast enough because the offense is going at such a quick tempo.
2 of your best-handed receivers, number 1, Washington, number 7, Heyman, at the top of your screen. Haven looking that way, goes up, and it's caught and dropped by Heyman.
That's the 3rd drop ball we've seen this quarter out of Dunham receivers. They need to get on the jugs machine. No, I'm serious. They got to start catching the ball. That's something that Neil Weiner will address. If you're going to be able to have a kid throw you the football, as this sophomore quarterback does, your receivers have got to catch the football. There's been 3 or 4 right in the hands that have been put on the ground.
If he holds it, it's a touchdown. Here's your 3rd down play. They're going to keep it in the hands of Haven, and he will stretch himself into the end zone. Did he break the goal? And the official says touchdown.
That ball came out. We just can't tell whether it came out in the end zone or before the end zone.
The linesman on this side of the field, you see him backing up right there, signaled. Well, maybe he wasn't signaling touchdown. Maybe he was signaling very close, but not there. But I thought he put 2 hands up in the air, touchdown. So let's see. They put 6 on the board.
And they're putting the ball at the 3-yard line, so here is your 2-point conversion.
Try to tie the game right here with the 2-point conversion. Piku, the running back. Haven looking at his 3 receivers up to the right side of the screen. He's in trouble. He will scramble. He'll just toss it into the end zone. Flag is thrown, caught in the end zone. A fabulous diving catch by Chris Thomas. but let's see if it stands and who is the flag thrown against.
Got a holding
call on Dunham. That wipes out a just fabulous catch by Chris Thomas. Number 11, as you see him on the bottom of your screen walking this way, a little dejected because he dove with a fantastic catch, and he gives a little tap on the back to Elijah Haven, his quarterback. Going, you got it there, but Holding is going to bring it back.
Well, they had a one-on-one down at the bottom to the short end of the field. They were trying to run a little rub route at the top with the 3 receivers. One of them was in motion, right? I call it rub route on offense. On defense, it's an illegal pick. Just depends on which side of the ball you coach on, right? They get flushed. Havens gets flushed out of the pocket to his left. The hold comes from the near side. Offensive tackle. He makes a great throw. It's all for naught. They're lining back up for 2 again.
Big rush. Blitz is on. Haven in trouble. He'll just throw one wildly into the end zone. A jump ball, and it goes incomplete. Flag thrown. Flag thrown right after the play, so hold everything. And there were a lot of blue jerseys around the receiver, but this looks like pass interference on the Comets, he said.
They're going to make a pass interference call on the Comets. That's going to put the ball back.
Right back to the 3-yard line.
Pressure applied that time by a strong safety blitz. Matthew Lemon coming from his strong safety
man, he
position.
was coming, wasn't he?
He was coming. Nice job by Haven to get rid of the ball in the back of the end zone. He drew the call by throwing the ball up and everybody converging on the receiver. That's the interference call, so everything goes back to the beginning. 2 plays ago for another 2-point conversion try. The question is how many 2-point conversions does the offensive coordinator have on his sheet? That's the question. He's shown 2 of them already, right? So does he have a third? You got man coverage from the Comets across the field. Look for them to bring another one on a blitz that they cannot protect with.
Remember, the penalty is half the distance, so you're not going back to the 3-yard line on this where you started originally, but you're going to be out at the 6.5.
6.5. There you go. Jesuit math. Jesuit math.
Oh, man.
Oh, my goodness
gracious.
gracious.
You're not kidding. Now, wait.
If it wasn't
you're
for
a coach. You're watching this game. You're gonna watch this game. You're going to see film of this game. You're going to go, one of the ways you stop Elijah Haven is ball control. You just try to keep the ball out of his hands. And it's been able to get him out of a rhythm, the rhythm he has been in for the last year in the first 2 games this year.
Well, ball control, it also it depends on your offense and what you're dealing with. You've got to remember the Comets have lost 17 players off an explosive offense and a strong defense from last year. This year's team does not have an identity yet for St. Charles Catholic. Wayne Stein said that to me. We're trying to develop an identity so we come off of a harsh loss against Newman in week 1. We get the Hurricane on week 2.
And you got to sit on that.
Our kids are sitting on it for 2 weeks, don't know how to flush that thing, and now we're trying to talk to our kids about developing an identity of being hard-nosed and learning how to play ball control football. All of this depends on the type of kids you have and what you're trying to get them to do. But I agree, the less you can put the ball in Elijah Haven's hands, the better off you are as an opponent.
Pico is the running back. 3 wide receivers to the right side, 1 down to the left. Haven looking in the direction of the 3 wide receivers. He's got a slant in dive in the end zone. Did he get it? Is it good by Heyman? Did he make the catch? Yes, he did. 2-point conversion. We are tied at 8.
Great route by Heyman. He gives a little juke to the outside and comes underneath the technique of the defender on the slant route for a wide open alley.
That's number 7.
Right, and that Haven puts the ball into perfectly. Great route. You can credit Heyman for running a great route to get open to be able to score that 2-point conversion.
Look, he makes a sliding catch. It's unbelievable. On Tuesday, the guest speaker at the St. Charles Catholic Quarterback Club was Saints do-it-all player Taysom Hill. Taysom presented the program with a set of Guardian caps for concussion prevention, and Comets coach Wayne Stein reciprocated by presenting Hill with a number 7 jersey.
That's pretty cool. That's awesome.
It really is.
And that's awesome that, Taysom,
Taysom Hill,
that's a chunk of money now. Those Guardian helmets are pretty expensive. Everybody's going to them to practice in to decrease the amount of bumps and hits that you're taking daily in practice on your head, which they have learned it's not about the one big hit, but it's about multiple hits over time that is creating a lot of problems with concussions. And those Guardian helmets have been proven to be effective in helping with that.
Short kick, and the return was by Hilaire, Rashawn Hilaire. And we've had short kicks and good field position for the offenses starting off. The only bad field position is when the offenses have sort of created penalties and committed penalties that got them and pushed them back into a hole.
St. Charles needs to get their sophomore quarterback, Landry LeBlanc, going. He needs to be able to kind of mature against this Dunham defense right here tonight in Laplace, because they're going to need him going forward and playing good football as they get in, especially with De La Salle next week and Terrebonne in a couple of weeks.
And off to Kristen McLean, and they're going to just run and eat some clock. Tied at 8 now. Dunham back in it, but you really have not had a chance to see the vintage Elijah Haven. Hard to use the word vintage with a sophomore high school quarterback, but after the type of freshman year he had, you've got to say that. You haven't seen it because the Comets have had ball control offense, and it's worked. 2nd down, 8.
Got number 0, Noah Tucker, back at the Wildcat position again. This will be the first time that we've seen it in the third quarter. I think you're going to see moving forward in the next couple of weeks a lot more of this type of look with Noah Tucker back there.
But Landry LeBlanc, the quarterback, stays in the game. He is a wideout, dropped the football, caught in the backfield, almost escapes, and then is dropped for a loss.
See, those are things they're going to have to iron out in this package. They have a complete package put together for them, or should I say it's not complete yet. They have a small package, which they're going to be looking to complete, but it's the technicalities of catching the football first that they need to work on.
A loss of 5 on that, making it 3rd down and 12. Landry LeBlanc, love the way he spells his first name, Landree, not Landry as you would expect it when you hear it. But the double E at the end. Rollout quarterback will throw. We've got a man caught. And here's Jackson Doster. His first catch of the game will go for 6. My goodness.
Jackson Doster runs a rail route as the Twins receiver. The defender bites on the out route off of the rail, leaves Dostin wide open running down the boundary. Great ball by Landry LeBlanc. Rolling out to his right, he delivers a strike. Touchdown Comets, they're back on the board.
65-yard TD. Landry LeBlanc to Jackson Doster. Hadn't gone to him in this game, and they did on one big play. One catch, 65 yards, a touchdown. Nice stat line.
That will heal your offense very quick. Big
very
plays,
quickly.
Explosion plays, heal your offense.
And that is Blake Taravella, the sophomore, in for the injured Tyler Miliotto.
Got a flag on the kick.
Miliotto probably could have gone tonight, but they were going to try to hold him out, and Taravella settled down after missing an earlier field goal on the opening drive. The sophomore drills him an extra point, and the Comets lead it 15-8 with 34 seconds left in the third quarter, trying to hand Dunham their first loss of the year. Dunham starting 2-0.
They haven't explained the flag on the PAT. Both teams have left the field. The white hat's walking around like he's looking for a po' boy. I mean, I'm serious. They haven't explained anything yet. Or,
no signal yet.
Or
right?
did they pick the flag up? Oh, here we go. Personal foul. St. Charles Catholic. So they'll assess it on the kickoff. St. Charles heavily penalized here tonight. I think this would be the third time I've said it, that's going to have to be something they're going to have to iron out moving forward. Well, timeout.
Wait a minute.
Yeah, exactly. He pointed to St.
He
Charles
pointed
Catholic.
to St. Charles Catholic.
And now it should have been a personal foul against Dunham. He identified it in the wrong direction.
Yes.
And it makes us look not very good. And
Yes.
there we go.
So the
and St.
15-yard.
Right.
Yeah.
And they're kicking off from the Dunham, what is that, 45.
And right at the goal line, this is Billy Piku coming forward. And Piku a 16-yard return out to the 16-yard line. Well, St. Charles Catholic has never trailed in this game. Tied at 0, led 8-0, tied at 8, now leads 15-8 as the third quarter is slowly coming to an end with less than a half minute to play, 28 seconds. You see it on your screen to be exact. Each team with 2 timeouts remaining as we get close to heading to the final quarter of play. Haven with the handoff. That'll be Piku. Piku's been the workhorse.
Wow, Brooks Monica comes downhill and just lights up Piku. Great form tackle by that young man. The senior linebacker.
Pickup of 3, second down, 7. Man wide open, that's Giroux. He's got him, and he's got the first down and a heck of a lot more.
St. Charles dropping 6 and 7 people at a time unless they're going to bring some sort of blitz to put pressure. These holes in a 3-deep coverage like that with, 4 people underneath, there's a lot of holes. And what's happening is Dunham is finding these holes in this zone coverage, and Haven is putting the ball right where it needs to be put.
31-yard gain that time to end the third quarter of play, and now you'll see a little strategy coming up by both teams for the fourth quarter. Is Elijah Haven loosening up a little bit? Are you seeing a little bit, maybe more getting into his rhythm?
When he makes throws like that, you see this, the star power, should I say, that he's going to have moving forward, right? But I like when they use him to run the ball. They need to build off the running game with the quarterback. And when they do that and they add more weapons to his tool chest, he is just going to become that much more dynamic. But I understand what Neil Warner's doing. You can't just give him the whole playbook in one setting and let him sit there and digest it. He's a sophomore. So they're probably adding to his tool chest every week just a little bit more. I'd like to see them add a little more to his running repertoire.
At their own 49-yard line, first down to start the fourth quarter. Haven on the keep. He's back to the line of scrimmage, makes a nice cut and picks up about 4 more. Go out of bounds at the 45-yard line of St. Charles Comets, of the St. Charles Catholic Comets, rather.
Dax Prejean tomorrow is going to get ripped by his teammates because he came from his free safety position, fell in the alley off the zone read. With Havens taking the ball, Havens gave him a little loop-de-doop, and he missed him completely. They're going to be snickering at that tomorrow in film.
At the 45, blitz picked up well. Haven with time, breaks down, flush from the pocket, escapes, being chased, and he'll step out of bounds. Steps out of bounds at the 45-yard line. That's back to the original line of scrimmage, no gain.
Great job over on the wide side of the field. That's where Haven was looking for originally with the curl rail route between the 2 receivers at the top of your screen. St. Charles does a very nice job getting underneath the curl with the linebacker and having the corner fall off on the rail. Nicely played by St. Charles Catholic defense.
Third down, 4. Quick throw, diving catch by Heyman, and he's got the first down inside the 40 at the 37-yard line. 1st and 10, Dunham in St. Charles territory.
Heyman had to go down on the ground to scoop that one up. He had his glove down underneath that to get
Yes,
that ground ball.
Smart play by a receiver. Didn't trap it, got the, as you said, got the paw underneath it. Here's a quick dump off Right side, Heyman again. They're going to Heyman a whole lot more right now. The senior wide receiver, along with Jarvis Washington, two of the big leaders in this receiving corps. 9 different receivers this year have caught passes for this Dunham team. They spread it around very, very well. This time, Piku up the middle, breaks a tackle at the 30, has the first down, a lot more. He's inside the 10, brought down at the 5-yard line. Big gain.
St. Charles brings the blitz. The safety fills the alley off the linebacker to be able to fill where the linebacker blitzed. Dunham blocks it nicely, but they miss the tackle. Talking about St. Charles, and that puts Piku down inside the 5-yard line.
32-yard gain for Piku that time. Heyman wants to keep this time. Ankle, grab by the ankle, somehow gets loose, gets inside the 5 and falls forward toward the 2. And one of the offensive linemen seems to be shaken up, is slow to get up for the Dunham Tigers. That was Heyman slow to get up. I thought Bayshok was also just a little slow to get up. Piku with the handoff, left side dive, and he is touchdown. He's in. Piku again.
Piku does a nice job in the backfield. Everything's stacked up by the Comet defense. He just does a nice little jump cut to his left and walks into the end zone.
Wow.
That drive by Piku, you can put it as a Piku drive right there. He pops that and pops through 2 defenders on that long play down inside the 5-yard line. Tough little running back to pick up the needed yards. Last week, he comes in with 27 attempts on 115 yards.
Well, the snap was bad, and Gavin Bird kicked it right into the line. No good. But there's a flag on the play. At the line of scrimmage. It's going to be against the Comets of St. Charles Catholic.
Well, hold on. Timeout.
Wait a minute.
He pointed the wrong way again.
He pointed to the Comets. Even the PA announcer said Comets, but he pointed the wrong way. This is going to come back.
Illegal procedure.
Legal procedure before the snap. So it gives Gavin Boyd a little bit. Your snapper is Connor Guidros, and Bronson Bonneville is the holder, number 2. Another bad snap, and is blocked again. Snap was bad. The holder, Bonneville, had to reach back and try to place the ball down. Couldn't do it. That one's not on Gavin Bird.
The mechanics were all bad. Bad snap twice, which results in 1 block and 1 kick into the tail of an offensive lineman, right? The first time they get the illegal procedure penalty, saves them, gives them a chance to kick it again. What do? They can't handle the mechanism of the PAT. Things in week 3 teams still have to work on.
Tonight's 4th quarter coverage on Crescent City Sports is brought to you by the Lamarck Automotive Complex in Kenner. Lamarck Lincoln is the only Lincoln black label dealership in the market. It's more than ownership, it's membership. As Ronnie says, must be a reason. And he's right. The Lamarck Motor Company, Lamarck Automotive Complex in Kenner. Thank you, Ronnie, for sponsoring, and all the sponsors who bring prep football to you right here at CrescentCitySports.com. Best scoreboard, Ken Trahan on 106.1 The Ticket right now, giving scores and getting reports on games from around the state of Louisiana. We're bringing you this one, and man, this is going to be a lot of fun. So Gavin Bird to kick it off. An extra point is the lead right now for the St. Charles Comets with 10:15 to play. Can he get this ball deep, kicking? Well, the wind that was against him stopped. They're going to try a little onside kick. Didn't go. The 10.
That was planned. That was surprise onside.
Yeah, it did make the 10. But they couldn't get it.
Good job by the Comets not taking their eye off of the football as they're retreating on the front line to set up their blocking assignments. They fall right back on it, and they will have the ball in great field position at their 45-yard line.
15-14. St. Charles Catholic with the lead. Each team went for a 2-point conversion after their first score and got it. St. Charles kicked their extra point after the second touchdown, and Dunham missed theirs on the kick. It was blocked. So first down, Landry, the quarterback, will hand it off. And a nice job sweeping wide to the left side. One more time, Mr. McLean, Kristen McLean. Gain of 4.
He bounces that power play outside right into the arms of number 4, Grant Morgan, for the Tigers. He does a nice job, Grant Morgan, Ed, by setting the edge. That's what you do as a corner. Good corners set edges to be able to make the offense turn into the oncoming pursuit.
They're going to throw. Keep your eye on the guy at the top of your screen, Noah Tucker, 0, way up there at the top. 3 receivers to the right side. Landry LeBlanc will hand it off. No, they're not going to run clock. Kristen McLean again, this time nowhere to go, and he'll lose 1. 3rd down, 7.
Again, Dunham pursuant to the ball. Getting a lot of white jerseys just flying there. That trademark of a good defense.
Long way to go. 1-point lead. Comets trying to play ball control. They need to move the chains here and get a first down. Low snap picked up. Big blitz is on. He'll throw just a little screen picked up there by Doster. And Doster gets it back to the original line of scrimmage, but it's still a loss of 3. 4th down, 10.
Not well executed, sniffed out well by the Dunham defense. Tunnel screen to Doster, who comes underneath the offensive line that's getting out in front of him to block. Great job by that Dunham defense to force Comets to punt.
So back is Trevor Heyman. And to punt, Monica. It's a pretty good foot into it, and it'll take a good St. Charles Catholic bounce, then turns right.
Monica's punt rolls dead at the Tiger 25-yard line.
And it'll be blown dead at the 25-yard line. So trailing by 1, Dunham and quarterback Elijah Haven have the football. If you're watching this, you might be saying, is this Elijah Haven? We've seen him escape. We've seen him throw a couple of good passes, but we really haven't seen anything that would make us think, is he really the number 1 guy for the class of 27?
Look,
yes, he is. He is.
Again, I digress. He's a sophomore.
Yes.
Right? And everybody is putting this crown where it should be. And it's going to be. He's going to be a great player, but we see sophomore mistakes. He's got to do a lot of growing up. Neil Warner said it to you, said it to
Timeout,
me,
St. Charles Catholic. Keep going.
that he is going to grow a lot from seeing this Comet defense and this type of football team, right? And he is going to grow. He is taking growing steps. He shouldn't be wearing the crown yet. That's the reason why I really have problems with young guys that are 15 years old getting all the offers, getting anointed by no offense to recruiting gurus and everything, all of that stuff, putting that crown on them, right, as the number 1 recruit, number 2 recruit, top 5 recruit, those sort of things. It is what it is. It just isn't my type of tea, right? There you go.
Well,
look at that list. I just look. He's a sophomore, going to be a great player, just like every one of those guys on that list are. Listen to me.
We've heard some of these names too.
Look, this is a big country, and there's a lot of great high school football out there, right, from coast to coast.
Xavier Crowell, running back Alabama. I've heard that name before. And, to his credit, he's not putting that crown on himself.
Oh,
you listen to him talk.
No doubt. He's not asking for that. But that's what we're seeing, a sophomore here tonight.
First down. Yeah, you've seen a sophomore who's being forced into a lot of blitzing situations, and he's got to pick it up, or he's thinking blitz and it's not coming. And again, how many teams are going to say, this is the way you've got to beat Dunham? You've got to try to keep the ball control, ball time of possession.
What he is graded on right now as a sophomore is his athletic ability and his body shape and type.
He got 8. He got 8, second down 2.
And how far can he throw a football?
Yes. Oh, he runs right into somebody. He's just got to hold that ball right now as a sophomore. Don't make that mistake in trying to get loose. Ball, referee blows it dead. But that was a good pop, and you can see him kind of bend over. He feels that one.
Yeah, well, Shane Zimmerman gave him a nice pop, right? He came off his left edge defensive end spot. He's a senior defensive lineman. He's been around a long time.
3-year starter, Shane Zimmerman. 3-year starter.
Comes off the left edge and sticks it right into the ribs of Elijah Haven. Welcome to the big leagues, young man.
Yeah, Shane Zimmerman. Here's your third down play. Here comes pressure from the other side. He doesn't see it. Somehow he escapes, gets it off anyway, is caught, but will be short of the first down. That'll bring up 4th and 3.
A big-time play by Havens right there. They bring the blitz. He looks downfield. Nothing's there. He evades the blitz, gives a little ground, finds a white jersey open, and quickly releases the ball. Doesn't pick up the needed yardage, but he avoids taking the sack and the hit.
I'll tell you what, you look at that play, you think he's dead. So no, they're going for it. 4th down. Or they might just try to pull St. Charles offside. There's been some jumping around the ball. St. Charles trying to be careful.
Havens is at a wide receiver.
Yes, he is. Haven was in at wide receiver, and what they did was a little quick kick back there. Pretty sharp. See if they'll jump. If they don't jump, then you go ahead with less than about 5 seconds on the play clock. You snap the ball, and you punt.
Well, that looks like some sort of
52-yard punt.
Right.
52-yard punt. Got you out of a jam. Backs up the Comets.
Some sort of new wrinkle that they probably stuck in. They'll build off of that. Comets elected not to even, concern themselves with a return guy. Just let the ball roll. They do a nice job not jumping off sides.
Six minutes, 25 seconds to play in this game. The Comets with the football and the 1-point lead, 15-14. If you're joining us late, each team went for 2 after their first score and got it. We were tied at 8. St. Charles Catholic added 7. And then Dunham, 2 opportunities for the extra point, and both times it was a malfunction on the snap and a blocked kick. So it's 15-14, and a little pass to the left side. Doster with that reception. Tucker, pardon me. Second down after the gain of 4.
Looks like we got a timeout.
Well, this is the hydration break in the fourth quarter.
There you go. It is correct.
5:58. That helps St. Charles Catholic because the Comets only have 1 timeout remaining, Dunham 2. So as we recap this game, we see in the first half it was a battle of ball control, and St. Charles Catholic won that. 18 minutes and 35 seconds of first half ball control to 5:25 for Dunham. So keep the ball out of the hands of the great quarterback, the sophomore Elijah Haven. And it was an 8-0 halftime lead, the 2-point conversion, because St. Charles Catholic was struggling themselves, even though they were controlling the football. They had a touchdown called back on a penalty. They missed a very short field goal. So finally, when they had an opportunity to score, rather than put any more pressure on the backup kicker, they went for 2, got it, led 8-0. Come out in the second half, and quickly getting the second half kickoff. Dunham tried to go down the field, was intercepted in the end zone. Second time they got the ball, they went down, scored, tied it at 8. Here's St. Charles Catholic. Landry LeBlanc with the toss, and that one is intercepted. Was he in bounds? Does he have it? Yes, it's a catch and an interception, and a nice pick by Morgan Grant. Morgan Grant, the 5'9" senior.
Ball thrown up in the air. The aggressiveness of St. Charles with 5:53 and 1-point lead, taking the shot downfield, and it's kind of thrown up in the air by the sophomore, and that allows Morgan to come down with the football, right, and puts Dunham in a great field position right here at the 40-yard line of St. Charles. That's something that you might want to look back at and decide next time that you don't want to throw that type of aggressive type of pass.
Elijah Haven. He'll keep all the way on this one. It's a design to keep her and run, hit hard, spun around, and then gang tackled inside the 40, down at the 38. So that's a hard 2-yard gain, man.
Yeah, Creed Merrick's comes up and really wipes him out. He puts a lick on him. I love these linebackers from St. Charles. Brooks Monica, Creed Merrick's. These guys are active, right? They are active.
Almost 6'5", 210. Ball gets away from him, but he recovers well, turns, throws, and it's dropped by the receiver. My goodness, Chris Thomas. He catches that, and he's got the first down, but instead it's 3rd down now and 8.
That's 4 or 5 drops so far tonight. At least 3 in this half. Usually surely handed Chris Thomas. He's kind of in disbelief.
That puts a little pressure on Dunham right here, 3rd down and 8. Keep this drive alive, probably 4-down territory. Who knows?
Here comes a blitz.
We'll throw it left. Oh, nothing there but blue shirts, and that one is picked. Dropped. Almost a pick by Preston Calm, which would have been his second. He had an interception in the end zone earlier in the second half on the first drive, which stopped a drive. Saved it for St. Charles Catholic.
Don't know how Calm didn't come down with that. It hit him right in his hands, right? He had great leverage on the receiver. It went up for the
little bump
50-50 ball and just didn't come down with it.
They're going for it on 4th down. Pressure. Haven rolls left against the grain. He will throw long into the end zone. It is a jump ball wrapped, and there goes a flag as the receiver, or the defender rather, wrapped his arms around Chris Thomas. And the flag was thrown.
That defender was Joe Stovall. He was beat on the post route by Thomas. The ball was just aired out. He knew he was beat. That's the reason why he reached out, grabbed, and pulled Thomas to the ground.
Yeah, because if it's not 15 yards, it might be 6 points. 1 point game, 5 minutes to go.
The yardage is going to give him the first down. In high school football, it is not automatic. They move it from the previous spot if it's defensive pass interference. Mm-hmm. And it just so happens that they're going to get the yardage needed, and it'll be 1st down Dunham.
At the 24-yard line. You can see Haven, big 6'5" frame, hands it off straight ahead. Down to the 20 goes Piku.
They ran the same blitz.
Got 4.
The same blitz that Piku broke back in the 3rd quarter, but this time they tackled Piku.
Let's see if they go to it again. No, this time it's Haven all the way. He's hit, and this time St. Charles Catholic doesn't let him escape. They don't let go. Gets down to the 20, maybe gains 1 on the play to the 19. And that brings up a big 3rd down and long, 3rd down and 6.
That was Brooks Monica hanging on for life on Haven's right leg, right? He tackles him, slides down. He's holding him around his calf. And for about 3 pulls, Havens is dragging Monica downfield.
Brooks is saying, hey, I'm playing on my grandfather's field, Frank Monica Field. Ties his father. As the player got it, Heyman pulls it in, touchdown. What a toss from Elijah Haven to Heyman. Trevor Heyman breaking wide open for the score.
Now that
first lead for Dunham.
That is a throw by a kid that is going to be a great quarterback in 2 years from now, and if everything works out, could possibly still be the #1 recruit in the nation. Do you get my meaning? He's had some sophomore plays here tonight that are bad, but that play is the flash, and that is what everybody is looking at and recruiting him on right now, not to mention his body size and what he looks like on the hoof.
Going for 2, which would give them a 7-point lead.
Got to go for 2.
You got to go for 2. Makes sense, and probably a good thing. They've had trouble with their kicking game. Haven, big blitz, and he just throws it away. Nobody close.
That was supposed to be a little jump pass, but he didn't sell it too well. You know, the old who was the guy that played for Florida? Tebow, the Tebow jump pass.
The Tebow jump pass.
He fakes running into the line of scrimmage on the quarterback ISO and jumps up and hits the receiver in the center. He just didn't sell it too well.
Now the lead is 5, which means a touchdown, extra point not needed, and the Comets take the lead. But right now, Dunham's got their first lead of this ball game, coming with 3:56 in the fourth quarter, 20-15. Dunham. Nice job on the blitz by the Comets. They just sent everybody, and Nicky Monica is the one that had the free shot. Brooks Monica, pardon me. That's Nicky's the dad. And he had the free shot coming in as one person, but they were coming hard, and it forced Elijah Haven to throw it a lot quicker and not be able to unfold that play, Wade, as you were explaining.
Well, he stood there in against the blitz. He delivered the ball on time. Receiver ran a great route. Hyman ran a great route on the slant route. That was a big-time play by a future big-time quarterback.
Every kickoff has been very short tonight, kicking against the wind. It's going to put a little leg into this one. Coming down to McLean. McLean on the carry, on the return. And he pushes a pile from the 30. Got 5 extra yards from the 31 to the 36 with just a great push of a rugby scrum at the end of that kick return. So pretty good field position for St. Charles Catholic. They trail, but with 3:46 to go, they only need 6. They don't even need the extra point. They trail by 5, 20-15.
You know, ideally here is where they've got to open up the playbook. They've got one timeout. They can't make mistakes. They can't take sacks, and they cannot put a flag on the ground, right? So here's where now they've got to open up their playbook and be able to methodically take 3 minutes and 46 seconds off the clock and come away with a score.
Landry
Touchdown.
LeBlanc, sophomore, quarterback only with one start coming into this game, and that was the season opener at Newman. Last week's game was canceled because of Hurricane Francine. Toss right side to McLean. He'll push forward and gain 1 on the right side. Second down, 9.
Great tackle out there by Reeves Johnson. We've called his name a couple times tonight, the senior linebacker for the Dunham Tigers. He gets out there and makes a one-on-one tackle in the open field. Nicely done.
Academically, one of the best GPAs. Coach was saying he can probably pick wherever he wants to go academically. Little hesitation, then the handoff. Big hole up the middle, first down and more. This one's going to go for big yardage. McLean bust what looked like was going to be almost nothing, and he bust a gigantic play. My goodness.
Splash play right there. McLean's got a nice explosive one step and then a vertical move, right? It is now where offensively they've got to be under control and try to burn a little bit of this clock, because when they score, if they score, they don't want to leave too much on the clock for that explosive Dunham quarterback. We've seen what he can do.
Long gain, almost 35. And once again, they'll stick with the workhorse, Kristen McLean, number 6. And he'll go left. Gains 1.
Nice tackle by Charlie Meyer, the Dunham linebacker. They got some active linebackers for the Dunham Tigers. Myers, Johnson, Lazard, Bonneville. These guys do a great job. Now, there's a bunch of them that play because they all play both ways, so they're trying to get spells, get all of their kids on the field to give each other spells, and they all are kind of interchangeable. They do a great job tackling.
Remember, Jackson Doster is number 15, big play man. Got the 65-yard touchdown after being quiet all night in his first reception of the game. Won't go to him here. They'll hand off to Noah Tucker. He'll try to sweep the left side, goes down at the 30. That'll be a gain of 1.
Tough to run with 8 and 9 people in the box right there when they have man coverage across the field. You're just outnumbered. They try to race them to the edge, just can't get there. Great pursuit by the Dunham Tigers.
Third down, 9. 1:48 to go. Comets playing against the clock, trailing by 5. Remember, their ace field goal kicker not able to play tonight. Little backfield pass, and boy, was that played well by Trahan. Good Elliott Trahan there to make a big play for a big loss. 4th down.
They had that smelled out, trying to run a little swing pass. Trahan comes out of the defensive backfield for Dunham and makes a great tackle. It cost St. Charles not
gonna
only
take
field
their last
position, but they're
time
going to
out.
have to take their last time out. Now the clock is not their ally. How quickly can the clock make you change how you attack things, right? In 1 minute, you are in perfect situation to be able to possibly score, take the lead with less time for your opponent, and then just in a couple seconds later, a loss here, a tackle there by the opponent. The clock is changed, forces you to take your last time out. The clock is now working against St. Charles Catholic.
No timeouts, as Wade just said, for St. Charles Catholic. Dunham has 2, but Dunham has the lead, 20-15, 1:16 to play, 1 minute 16 seconds. What was a full moon, coming off that full moon, just starting to show itself over the end zone on the left side.
Dude, you got some drama, huh?
Big 4th down play.
Here it is right here for St. Charles.
Noah Tucker is wide to the right. Landry LeBlanc, your quarterback. They're there to pick up the blitz. Landry LeBlanc will throw long. It's an air ball, and it is just knocked down. Could have been picked off, but knocked down. Smart play by Morgan Grant on 4th down, because that would have cost him, had he intercepted that and not returned it, would have cost him about 20, 25 yards.
Started up front. LeBlanc had some issues off the left-hand side. Missed block. The protection got weak on the left-hand side. It put a lot of pressure on Landry. LeBlanc just kind of threw that thing up, and Morgan knocks the ball down.
Hey, St. Charles Catholic has no timeouts remaining. You can take a knee twice here, and it's done.
Yes, it is. That's why I said here it is, right here for St. Charles Catholic.
Yep. Wow, and it's a very smart play by Morgan Grant just to knock that down. Not that it would have mattered, because you would have been taking a knee back there anyway, but you can just take a deep victory formation and let it tick. Wow, St. Charles Catholic, who controlled time of possession, who controlled just about everything in this game, saw Dunham come out, and just behind some fine play by quarterback Elijah Haven, but some great running by Colin Piku, and some great catches by Heyman, Malik. Well, I don't think Malik didn't catch anything in this game. They didn't go to the tight end. There's the knee, but Heyman, Thomas, Giroux, and especially Jarvis Washington. Man, that was some big ones. This is huge.
The name of the game for St. Charles tonight was number 1. They didn't score when they had the opportunity inside the red zone. A lot of penalties tonight, I would think, without having an official count, over 7. About 5 of them were holding, right?
Yes.
Down inside that red zone.
TD called back.
Some big issues tonight for the Comets that they're going to have to iron out going forward. They haven't been in this position in a long time. Wayne Stein and his staff definitely will know how to handle this with their kids. They'll go back to work tomorrow. They'll get ready for a good De La Salle team next week. And on the other hand, Dunham, found a way to win.
Yes, they did.
Bottom line, they found a way to win with a sophomore quarterback that is going to be great. They found a way for him to learn tonight. He made sophomore mistakes, but when the time was right, he delivered the big one. Star tonight for Dunham is the Piku kid and their defense.
Colin Piku running, right. And the defense. Absolutely.
And their defense inside the red zone. 2 good football teams moving forward. It's going to be exciting to see where they are at the end of week 10.
Elijah Haven, fun to watch. 3-0. Dunham is now 3-0, beating Parkview Baptist, Live Oak, and now tonight St. Charles Catholic. And St. Charles Catholic falls to 0-2, losing their opener to Newman, the old Manning School. And then Lutcher game canceled because of Hurricane Francine. And then they lose tonight by 5, 20-15 to Dunham. They're 0-2 on the year. I want to thank everybody for joining us tonight. We'll have more high school football action for you next Friday night with the District 9 5A opener between Brother Martin and Jesuit from Tad Gormley Stadium. Our coverage will begin at 6:50. For Wade Kaiser and our entire Crescent City sports production team, I'm Ken Berthelot saying good night from Laplace. Once again, the final score is the Dunham Tigers 20 and the St. Charles Catholic Comets 15. From Laplace, thanks for being with us. Good night, everybody.